Welcome to the Movie Draft Podcast. I am Ethan Simi, and today I am joined by two wonderful guests. First up is Danny Jarabek.
Hello, hello.
And Erik Anderson.
I'm here and I'm alive.
Both prerequisites for drafting on this pod, thank God. And today we are not drafting movies, but instead movie stars in a regular style draft. Danny, welcome back to the pod. New year, new you, maybe? New drafting strategies?
We'll see. I realized I've been on a pretty strong losing streak of late, and I intend to shake things up a little bit. Maybe take some different approaches, maybe think in a different way about who I'm selecting. So I need to get back on the winner's table here, I think.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I do want to take a moment to gloat. Erik, I know you love it when I take 2 seconds for myself. The theatrical re-release wish list draft. This was 4 or 5 episodes ago now in 2025. Danny, you lost and I fucking won, so deal with it. I'm back at the winner's table and it feels so good. That's all I wanted to say. I feel really good about my performance. It's a very rare time that I win, especially against you. But I have another shot here tonight. We'll see what happens on this episode. Erik, hello. How are you? First episode back since the 2026 Academy Awards predictions episode. I don't know if you won that or not. I can't remember. I have to look it up.
I have not won any draft, so I enter a loser.
Wow. Tough. Yeah, maybe you'll exit
I got
a loser
close.
too.
I got really close, and then at the last minute, suddenly Ethan got like 2 more votes. Don't know where those came from.
No.
Suddenly? What are you talking about?
I've been on this grind for a while. It's burners. It's, I don't know what's going on. Bots.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Honestly, it's Sophie's Hive, and whoever she tells to vote, them to vote for it, they will do it. Looking back now, Erik, you lost, I lost, Ryan lost, and Sophia Simonello ended up winning that draft. Looking pretty good for her. She chose PTA in Best Director, Timmy in Lead Actor, Sinners in Nomination Leaders. We are progressing. At the time of recording, CCA, Critics' Choice Awards, just happened a couple of days ago. The announcements for the Actor Awards, previously known as the Screen Actors Guild Awards, came out today. And that Sophia's team shaping up pretty good. Erik, you were at CCA.
Yes.
Anything of note that you wanna talk about? Did you have fun? Any good stories to tell?
I have a lot of good stories. It was great. I was at the Hamnet table and took a really great picture of Kathy Bates coming over to Paul Mescal to thirst on him. And then I got his phone number. So it was a pretty good day for me.
Okay. Wow.
I don't know what happened with the awards.
That's a light flex. Don't worry.
Whatever happened after that, whatever. But no, it was pretty fun. Although I do think that the TV and film shows should be split in 2 because 3 hours feels like 6.
Yeah.
But it was pretty fun. It would have been great to have Hamnet win a few more things, but Jessie Buckley won, and that was iconic, and she was great, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
As soon as you said Kathy Bates, I thought you were going in a different direction based on one of the bits of the night. And I was like, did the after party?
Oh, yeah. The paddle thing was great.
With the paddle and Kathy Bates?
She was at like 1 table over, and it was a hoot. It was
Mania.
great. And apparently, because I was sitting right behind Paul W. Downs and Meg Stalter in their Marty Supreme outfits, I got a lot of camera time that I didn't realize. So I was pulling faces like when something was announced that I didn't like. Oh my goodness. I was on not good behavior on Sunday.
Wow. Well, that
Shocking,
sounds
really.
It sounds really fun. It sounds great. My wife would be very jealous that you do have Paul's number. Ryan McQuaid, friend of the show, friend of yours, Erik, of course.
Yes.
Did text me the day after CCA and was like, "Hey, I was hanging out with the One Battle crew."
He was at the One Battle table. Sophia was at the Sentimental Value table.
Okay. He said he was chopping it up with PTA, and I let him know that I watched Selling Sunset and I ate an orange that night, and so we were just living 2 different lives. So I wanted that to be known.
Feels really, really oranges to oranges, if you
Yeah,
will.
really. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much the same thing. I'm just an average man. You know, I just do what I can. I just host a podcast. We are
You just
here to
draft.
talk. I just draft. That's the only thing that I can do. We are here to talk about movie stars. Speaking of CCA, speaking of awards and winning, I in part kind of wanted to do this movie star draft because the movie podcast, like the movie draft podcast in general, going into 2026, we're eyeing some more kind of fun, lighthearted episodes that require a little bit less homework, I think is one of the big goals. We have a lot of big episodes. This is the year of big blockbuster movies, namely, you know, The Odyssey and things that we will probably end up talking about tonight in terms of movie stars and the future of Hollywood. So this is one of those drafts under that kind of umbrella. I also have kind of a great interest. I think we're at a real like kind of pivot point in Hollywood and in movies in determining if a movie star still exists and what the future of movie stars look like. And if someone can open a movie, lead a franchise, and if those things still exist. I wrote down this quote from George Clooney, which I think is notable, obviously, because of Jay Kelly and everything going on with that movie, a movie that is apparently pretty non-existent in the,
You mean
in the
everything
awards.
not going on with it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just doesn't exist anymore in the awards race, which I think is something to say as well. Clooney said, "The thing where you put someone's name above the title and you go see a movie because they're in it has ended." So with that in mind, Danny, movie stars, the era of movie stars, is it over? Is it coming back? Are we ramping up towards like a new generation? What's your take on movie stars right now?
Yeah, I think the concept of the movie star is certainly not one that exists in the same way that you might traditionally think it of, like the golden era of Hollywood, right?
Right.
You know, the Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, like that in the ideology of what George Clooney is suggesting in that quote does not necessarily exist in the same way. And I think a lot of it goes back to the relationship between studios, what movies get financed, why they get financed, and how consumers are taking in film and entertainment and media today in comparison to pre 2000 or even earlier. Right. And I think a lot of it is so much of you could put a big name on a poster and people would walk by. They would see that would sell them on a movie. They would buy their ticket and go watch that movie because they know that name. Right. But today, that's not really how you sell a movie to a studio anymore. You sell it based on, is this part of an existing franchise? Is this part of its existing IP? How does this connect to something that was successful in the past? Is it a legacy sequel? These are all selling points of how a studio decides to market and ultimately put forward what's on their slate year in, year out. Those are the types of movies that are dominating box office. They're dominating just what is out there in theaters today. And so it's just a different format and different relationship between studios, audiences, how people consume media, between the limitless choices we now have today in comparison to like the prestige of, you know, let's see the Katharine Hepburn movie. Let's see the Jimmy Stewart movie. Like there's just so much choice. There's so much competing for your attention today that putting one name on a poster just doesn't function the same way anymore.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, I just want to like tangent for a brief second. You mentioned all of these kind of golden era Hollywood actors, Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, Humphrey Bogart, all of these people that we know, that we can just say, hey, they were in this movie. We know this movie. We love this movie. That's 70 years ago, right? Like a lot of these movies were made 60 plus years ago. And so I think part of the exercise that I wanted to investigate here tonight is like, who is that now that in the year 2075, people are going to be like, yes, I know that person. Like the world probably won't exist in 2075.
That's hilarious. I was going to say it's hilarious that you think we're going to be here, but sure.
But say that we were here, you know, and we're all potting, and we're all 95 years old. Who is going to be who is going to be the next Humphrey Bogart? Who's the next Cary Grant?
Dead, Ethan.
No, You're gonna be with us, Eric.
I see what you're doing.
We're gonna put you on ice. We're gonna figure out a way to make it work.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
I promise. What about you, Eric? You're pretty close to, the world of Hollywood. Obviously, we just talked about CCA, and
Yeah.
this is your thing. Movie stars do they exist right now?
Well, I mean, like the industry itself, it is certainly ever evolving, and that also includes the definition of a movie star. I think the default is often that we go to is box office. That's how we define what a movie star is. A lot of the draft that we're going to be doing is so very box office driven and related. And you mentioned somebody like George Clooney, absolutely, at least in his heyday of heydays, a movie star. Not a huge box office draw, but there's no one that would ever deny that he is a movie star of the very classic variety. So
Yeah.
I think if you're willing to expand the definition of what a movie star is, you can certainly find more, and we absolutely have to now, because we have to be able to equate somebody. Let's say if we're only looking at streaming, and certainly in a post-COVID world, that is very much where we are. When we have a big box office success, it gets certainly celebrated, but it's very specific kinds of things. We don't live in a world where a adult drama can make $150 million.
Right.
When I was growing up, Jack Nicholson and Shirley MacLaine were movie stars. They were box office stars in the 80s. You could count on that. You could rely on that. But since COVID, in what we were already, gearing towards, and that was a very streamlined streaming world, that just accelerated it immensely. So I think if we allow ourselves then to look at, as much as we can rely on them, streaming numbers for certain films, then we can start saying, all right, well, this person is in this film. They have a pretty good record.
Yeah.
I mean, ironically enough, George Clooney is a Netflix star now, but the numbers for Jay Kelly are absolutely dismal. They're terrible. Is he still a movie star? I'll say it's sort of like alcoholism. Like, once you are, you always are. I don't care if your star just drops. If you get to that stage, you always get to be a movie star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you as well. Again, like, to the Jay Kelly point, I just think it's hilariously ironic that he is in a movie about himself as an aging movie star, and he's not really a movie star anymore. And I think like that, says something about where we are at. I know we're kind of all beating around the bush, and I think George Clooney is like a good sticking point. We don't want to toss out too many actor names here. That's the point of the draft. So I know we're doing a little bit of strategy here by not revealing a whole lot. I do think, to this effect, the one thing that I will say is in making my short lists for this draft and in doing a little bit of prep work for it, the movie stars that were during certain eras, you could say the Clooney era, are definitely aging out now. And that makes it very tough in a especially a post-COVID world, and a streaming world, and a TikTok world, and a short form content world. I think that is like really a battle with each other. And thinking of that, I think it's been so fascinating to watch, specifically like the Chase Infinity and Leonardo DiCaprio meeting in the middle of the One Battle After Another awards train, and how all of us are just like, wow, Leo's out. He just like used to be the movie star of Hollywood for a very, very long time. And now he's showing up on TikTok and he's putting in the work, right? So I think there's a lot to be said. It's a very big, multifaceted conversation for sure. I think this exercise will hopefully prove that movie stars do still exist, or it might debunk it. Who's to say? We might walk away and say like, things are looking pretty grim, and it is just going to be Avengers Doomsday until we die. And that wouldn't be ideal. So I guess we'll see where we arrive at the end of this draft. Again, I know we haven't really been mentioning particular movie star names. Strategy going into this draft. What are we thinking? What are we looking? Are anybody willing to give anything about where their head's at?
My strategy is hoping that I get the first pick.
Okay. Totally
And
fair,
that's it.
regular strategy. Yeah.
That's it, really. The rest, I'm like,
Yep.
I'm looking at my names and I'm just like, this is hilarious.
I think there's something to be said about the fact that, like, because I also want the first round pick. I need a particular category, and that's worrisome, right? If we were in the heyday of movie stars, we could probably do like a 6-person 8-round draft and like just go deep. We're 3 people here. We're going to do 6 apiece, and we'll see like how kind of difficult things get. Danny, can you clue us in a little bit on your strategy? Because we've got a little unveiling to do here. We need to talk about what's going on.
Well, it's certainly, I think, appetizing to be doing this draft in the thick of a current award season where you're seeing some actors have a really big moment, some actors having some breakout roles in major films. You also have some aging Hollywood stars that have had their heyday for quite a while now in Hollywood, who are, you know, kind of almost in a meta way, even beyond the George Clooney, seeing like possibly the tail end of their prime in one way or another. Franchises may be ending, franchises may be starting. Who knows? I'm still being ambiguous and vague here, but definitely a lot of names swirling top of mind, considering, you know, we got SAG nominations this morning. That's a pretty fitting timeline to be having this draft.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You also just didn't say anything that I wanted you to say.
No.
Because that's, you know, that would be too easy. I'll let the listeners know. Eric, I'm going to let you know too. Danny's playing a little dirty tonight. Danny's playing a little dirty. He's playing a little under the table. Okay. So just let it be known. We're obviously members of the Rolling Tape, this wonderful outlet that Danny runs. And in the Discord tonight, Danny just tossed in the question, hey, everybody, who's a good movie star that could lead a movie? And boy, when I got that notification on my phone, I immediately replied and I said, nobody fucking answer him. Nobody answer him. This guy's ears to the ground research. And I just thought it was a little...
Danny, why did you not use
dirty.
the second group chat that doesn't have Ethan in it?
This is so true.
Yeah, you fucked up, Danny.
I
Holy
mixed them up.
shit.
We've got a whole outlet that is everyone but Ethan, and I don't know
Just me
why I
excluded?
didn't communicate it to that one. I will have it be known that Ethan has posed these questions about his drafts in the Discord before. So
Listen.
this is not, there is a precedent for this kind of research that he has broken the seal on.
I just as I told Adam Patlaw in the group chat, it's my draft. I can do it. It's not your draft, Danny. You can't do the things that I can do. Okay, I am the ruler.
Is it called
of all.
Ethan Simmies movie draft?
After this episode, it will be
I
changing the
don't
title.
know. I don't
It's
know,
changing the
Jim.
title. This is it. This is the inciting incident. So anyway, a little bit of research, a little bit of on the ground, boots on the ground research here.
It also should be noted that I didn't get one
Yeah.
single genuine answer. And
Right.
regardless of you telling people to answer honestly or not, I think it would have been the same exact outcome where I would primarily receive in response canceled actors, people of that nature, no real answers given. No one wanted to help.
I do want to save my reputation here. A handful of messages down, I did say, hey guys, I changed my mind. If you could answer Danny honestly, that would be great. Because then I realized, hey, it could be mutually beneficial. We could both walk away with some great identifiers.
We could.
And nobody heeded that warning. So yeah, it behooves us all to know that it didn't help at all. It just stirred consternation and drama.
Useless results.
Nope. Again, this is why you have multiple chat threads.
Yeah. Valuable life lesson from Eric for sure. Okay. So this is a regular draft, meaning we're going to be drafting teams of 6 with specific categories. I'm going to read the categories real fast. We can maybe go through if we have any particular questions about the categories. Again, this is kind of a more fun draft a little bit, so I'm looking forward to seeing.
Any fun? These
They're
are
all fun to me.
stressful.
What are you talking about? I mean, hey,
I'm
out here making people be friends. Eric, Danny, you guys have never potted before. Welcome to the Thunderdome, you know?
Yes, but also, Danny, if you have watched any times that I have guested, I am always a chaos agent, attempting to dismantle Ethan's psyche, like, to the core. So,
I mean, that's kind of part and parcel of the role of being a guest on this show. Like, that's you sign up to draft and you sign up to mess with Ethan and make sure he doesn't win. Those are kind of your collective roles.
Yes, which is why during the draft we can chat in the side chat. So
chat.
There have been drafts before in which the group chat with me has been blowing up, and my brain can't do it. So if you want a surefire way to short circuit my brain, that's how you do it. Somehow,
I can just remove him from the group.
Okay, somehow after over 100 episodes, I will say I genuinely approach every episode as a great hang with my friends. And then, just like now, I get on with Erik and I realize, oh, that's not what this is at all. And so I just, I get duped every time. My own problem, but we live to pod another day. The categories are box office opener, under 30, over 50, up and coming, franchise lead, and wild card. Now, some of these categories, little fungible. Under 30 and over 50 is pretty identifiable, pretty black and white. I guess we'll see how much we want to get close to that. Danny, you had a good question that you asked before we started recording about franchise lead. Do you want to re-discuss that real fast to maybe set the stage for all of the little trinkets we could get into here?
Sure. I posed the question essentially of, are we drafting names who are currently leading a franchise, who have led a franchise in the past, or who we could see potentially leading a franchise in the future? So a little bit of a timeline spectrum to the franchise lead category.
Mm-hmm. Erik, do you have any input on that? Because I gave my input and then you were like, "Uh-oh, that's not what I thought."
Well, I mean, I'm trying not to reveal too much, if anything at all, about what I might possibly want to do or inject into the draft for debate. But I am interested in the idea of a franchise lead being either current, past, or maybe even past that if it happened again in like a reboot or a long awaited sequel, that person could then be a franchise lead again, worthy of a draft pick.
Wow. Okay. I think we might have all approached this a little bit differently. So I'm really interested to see.
That was tantalizing.
It really was. It got my gears spinning.
Yeah.
Wow, Erik.
I got a little bit of chills. The hair on my back of my neck is standing
up. I end up picking that person, we'll see. We'll see.
Wow. That person. Okay. I have short lists for every category. They differ in length, and I'm a little bit worried about a couple categories. So I do think the first pick would be nice. I know that personally, if I get the first pick, I'll probably bungle it. So that's not ideal, as I tend to do when I get the first pick. So maybe the second pick would be beneficial, but I don't know. It feels like the first pick's pretty valuable here.
I'm aiming for second pick because I just don't like making two decisions in a row. That's just a lot.
Right. You don't want to be on the turn either way.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
I kind of like the turn. It's kind of a power move. The 1-2.
Both. Just Eiffel Tower. Let's go. Two at once.
It does free you up where you're like, I could take one and then who I want next gets taken in the next two. It's a little tricky in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. Well, with that being said, I think we should commence the movie star draft here on the Movie Draft Podcast. I'm going to bust out the wheel of names here. So I've got the wheel of names.
Of lies.
the wheel of completely honest names. And I'm gonna kick it off
as he leads us to believe.
This was not at all pre-recorded.
Oh boy.
The only guy who didn't want number one.
I
Hey, I'll trade with you, Danny.
Oh my God, Eric, I proposed this the last time I was on.
No trades.
I offered a trade. It was mutually accepted. I wanted it. The other person wanted it, and he declined. He wouldn't let us do it.
Shut down.
Oh, this is fucking bullshit.
Okay, so Erik, Chaos Agent, confirmed today here on the show. All
right.
This is what we're working with here. We are working with Danny getting the number 1 pick. I'm going number 2. I'm in the middle here. And Erik, you're going to be at the turn at number 3. I appreciate you guys being open to trade positions, but the wheel of names is binding, and it will never be
because I do
changed.
get my 2 in a row.
That's true. You do get your 2 in a row.
So
Danny?
the other thing I want to get, but if I don't get what I want, I will blame you entirely.
Oh, yeah, that seems fair. That seems like something a friend would do.
Yes.
I think that's totally valid.
That's totally valid. Danny, why don't you kick us off with the first pick of the movie star draft?
I don't think I've ever had the first overall pick. I've manifested
first time for
a
everything.
long time. It's a lot of pressure because I feel like everyone usually comes into this thinking who the round 1, pick 1 selection is. Like they have someone in mind. And I feel like you could either get it right of what the collective thinking is or go in a different direction. And you're like, well, maybe I messed up. And you're kind of
I've done both, by the way. Neither of them feel good. So it's a lose-lose situation.
Exactly. That's why I don't want the first pick. But that being said, I do feel like there is probably a pretty clear selection. And if we're all dreaming big here on this podcast,
damn it.
This was it.
That's horseshit, man.
Timothee Chalamet.
Okay.
For which? For
only category
opener,
though.
For which? For franchise lead? Which is it?
I'm going to go box office opener because I think this is the trickiest category. I had the shortest list of names available to who I thought really fit this. I think you can go in a ton of different directions for under 30 or up and coming, whoever you're kind of vibing with. I'm sure we can be creative there. I felt like box office opener is tricky, and it goes back to a lot of the conversation we were talking about, like who is a name that truly drives box office today and leads major movies. And I do think that there's a pretty clear reason why we all had this name in mind, because he just had Marty Supreme Christmas Day, A24's biggest domestic grossing film to date, sort of at the pinnacle of potentially redefining what a movie star is and what it can be moving forward. So I think if you're looking at the big questions of this podcast, I think Timothee Chalamet as the number 1 overall pick kind of represents that best. So this fell into my lap. I didn't necessarily want it, but I'm not going to be mad about it.
What a way to frame that. Just incredible work. Just like, well, I'll take it, I guess, if it's there.
Noted, you wanted us to say what they have upcoming for our selections. I believe the only confirmed role he has moving forward is Dune Part 3. Dune Messiah is continuing on as Paul Atreides. I don't know anything else that he has confirmed.
I don't think he'll confirm anything until if he wins the Oscar or not.
And I think that is exactly I think his brand is so particular and intentional and well designed, thoughtfully designed, that makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty clear, even to me, pretty clear number 1 pick here in this draft. I think it's a good stage to kind of revisit the question we opened the pod with, which is like, what is a movie star now? And I think Timothee Chalamet is at the center of that conversation. Everything he has done with Marty Supreme, from the 14-minute Zoom video to just making a music video with people with ping pong balls on their heads, like pop-up shops, announcing things day of and things selling out, doing basically all of that and like being Timothee Chalamet, I think a movie star, and a very big caveat to being a potential movie star now, is way past whatever movie you're doing, right? Like,
Yeah.
the only reason people know about Marty Supreme is because of Timothee Chalamet. And I think without him being the persona that he is, I think it's much less of a movie. And I mean, you got to hand it to him. Like the phrase "dream big," that's like what he's been doing for the last 24 months with his online persona. So it's pretty impressive work. I think, of course, him dating Kylie Jenner is a big play in this too. Like, I think, you know, she's one of the most famous people on the planet, and that means something as well. And it is interesting that, like, the movie star right now, only one confirmed upcoming project, and it's happening this year, which I think is interesting. Erik, any Chalamet thoughts?
Well, I mean, obviously, this was the first pick. If any one of us had gotten the number one pick and didn't pick him, you're an absolute dingbat.
And that's why I was nervous. That's why I was
fool.
nervous.
There was no way that this was not the number one pick. But what's really interesting, and why he's the number one pick, and why he is really one of the only people we can quantify as the multiple definitions of movie star that we've given, is that he was able to open finally a non-IP and non-franchise film, because that's always going to be the test. We're going to be talking clearly about a lot of IP and franchise work. But even, you know, very big movie stars of the 90s, when they would try and step outside of where audiences really accepted them, they were often met with huge box office failure. And that sometimes, depending on who your agent and publicist and manager is, will pull those people from those kinds of projects and then kind of just keep them in a really narrow lane of the kind of things that they can do, because it's going to get them the bigger ask, the bigger quote, and it will provide bigger box office. So Marty Supreme was actually a huge test for Chalamet and for audiences, and it was flying colors.
Totally agree. I think
a lot of them orange.
Oh my God.
This guy. Picking him in box office opener is very, very smart. Marty Supreme currently on track to become A24's biggest grossing movie of all time, which is a pretty big deal. I think the last time that a movie...
It's a low bar, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a low bar for sure.
To be honest.
Yeah, totally fair. I think the last time that this happened, the last time that a movie like usurped to the top of their list, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Everything Everywhere All at Once, and that obviously went on to sweep at the Academy Awards and was a big cultural phenomenon.
Partially from the like late award season re-release, right? Like when it had gathered all that momentum and they put it back in theaters. So
a great little nugget as well, because Everything Everywhere released in March that year and had basically a year to make money. Marty Supreme Christmas Day, this movie at time of recording has been out available to the public for 2.5 weeks, and it is making a crazy amount of money. Great pick. Okay. Got to block that off my short list. I think I'm also going to go in box office opener. I actually had Timothee Chalamet in my franchise lead category, by the way.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Obviously doing Dune right now. And I was kind of thinking future as well, of like, not necessarily MCU, but like, what's another 3-movie franchise that Chalamet could lead? Could be pretty much anything. And he's got like
the Wonkaverse.
Well, that is coming. There is going to be another Wonka. So that actually is happening. That's kind of his next. So.
Yeah. He can do it all. God, feels good to be on the right side of Wonka. By the way, I used to be on the wrong side. Feels good to be on the right side. I love Wonka. What are you talking about?
We bullied you for so long for not liking Wonka, and then
bullying
all of a sudden you rewatch it and you're like, I'm on the right side of history.
Can a
Okay,
guy
but
not
it's
change
not
his
that
mind?
good, so
God.
sorry.
Eric,
Wow.
come on.
Eric, I used to be like you. Feels good to be on this side.
Maybe
of
Eric
the
should
tracks.
rewatch Wonka.
I'm good. I've got
Eric Wonka watch along win. You know, that's what I'm asking.
That's what the
probably
crowd is asking
never.
for.
There's no chocolate in my pocket.
Okay, would you rewatch Wonka on the pod if it meant you got to live an extra 10 years?
I don't want to live 10 more years.
But we have to be alive in 2070 to pod, Eric. That's what we determined.
My genes are already like scarily like in their 90s, so it's
Okay.
pretty
Not
it's
happening.
a pretty good chance that I'm already gonna get there. It's like a couple of years away anyway, so
Okay. Whatever you say.
make your pick because I know what you're doing. You're stalling.
No, I'm not stalling. I'm pretty locked in. I don't know if it's the right pick or not. It seems like the right pick to
Probably
me.
not.
Because
You
I
should
feel
maybe second guess it. I don't know.
you're going to make me second guess and take even longer. So I don't know what you're doing to yourself here. I'm going to go with box
I've
office
got my
opener.
picks. I'm comfortable.
I feel pretty good about what I'm doing. In box office opener, I'm taking a guy that has made over about $2 billion at the box office. I feel like he can open a movie. Seems pretty good.
Shocking.
Did pretty good this year. Little movie called Sinners. I'm going to be taking Michael B. Jordan in the box office opener category. Sinners, the 8th highest grossing movie of the year. Obviously the only original movie in that slate. He's got the Thomas Crown Affair remake coming in 2027, which I'm pretty excited about. I think is going to be an interesting test. Even though it is a remake, I think it's cool for him to step outside of Creed and Black Panther and do other things like Sinners, which was remarkably successful. And I think he is like a real, I think now after Sinners, he's a real household name. If he wasn't before, he is now. He made 3 Creed movies. You know, he was in a Black Panther movie that made over $1 billion. So I feel pretty good about that pick.
That's a pick.
He was my top.
Don't
He was my
agree?
top choice for franchise lead.
Oh, interesting. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have swapped my
Is he
Chalamet
though?
and Jordan. You don't think he could lead a franchise?
I mean, Creed.
Well, again, this
Creed, he
is
did
the
lead a franchise.
conversation that we had.
Yeah.
Are they? Could they be? Were
Mhm.
they? So
Yeah. Right.
it's all how you want to define it.
Yeah. I like that pick. It is my pick after all.
It's a great pick.
He's only 38, so like we're gonna be making movies for a while, and it doesn't hurt that he is ridiculously jacked and good looking. So I think he's got the movie star makeup going on there. Okay,
You're not
Eric.
even the gay one here, Ethan. You're doing that whole thing again. Uh-huh. I see you.
I can recognize a good looking guy when I see one. You know, I don't have to be gay. I can just say someone's good looking.
Mm-hmm. I'm not. It's not a judgment. It's just an observation.
Okay.
Just
Okay. Yeah, you're real down the middle. Everything is really fucking with me. Okay, Eric, you have 2 picks.
I'm kind of excited because now I don't know what to do because I feel like I have so much in front of me. I have so many categories that I really am kind of like into now with this because to be perfectly honest, your pick was not who I expected. And I started eating somebody else's name. So I wonder if I should go there. Because I kind of feel like I should. But maybe I'll hold off. I think I might hold off. One of the fun things about this draft is how many people qualify in multiple categories. So it's not really just picking the right name, but it's really putting them in the right spot so that you're set for success later.
Little double strategy game.
It's very much that. It's very much. I mean, I want to pick 1, 2, 3. I have 2 choices and 3 categories I want to kind of play with here. All right.
Pressure's on.
I think I'm actually going to do I'll do franchise lead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to get me where I want to be, I think.
I'm a little bit nervous because I want my next pick in this category. Just a heads up.
What I want more than anything is to ruin your dream. So I hope that I do.
One step closer. Yeah.
I hope that I dream big. But if not, that's okay. I'll recover. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 names on this list as possibilities. I know I didn't need that many. It's only 3 of us. But, like I said, you got people that are on multiple lists here. So, all right, let's just rip the Band-Aid. I'm going with Tom Holland as my franchise lead.
Okay.
Spider-Man, obviously. Yep. Anything Avengers, not a lead, but still a draw. I don't know if I need to go much further into it. I don't think I want to.
Okay.
But I feel pretty good with Tom Holland.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out in 2026. He's, of course, got Avengers Doomsday also coming out. He has The Odyssey coming out. He's got a triple feature 2026 on deck. And he's got another movie in pre-production called American Speed, starring Tom Holland and Austin Butler. So that's happening as well. I think it's a very
I will be watching Seated and Manspread.
I think it's a great pick. Smart. No Tom Holland thoughts?
I hadn't thought of. Okay. I didn't have him on my list, but only for mostly because I forgot.
You're also like not an MCU guy. You're not a superhero person.
Yeah.
I'm not either. But when I look at my list, I have to be.
Sure.
You have to be versed when you are drafting, Ethan.
This is true.
And Dan.
You gotta be a 4-quadrant drafter if you want to go for a win.
Yeah,
exactly.
Big time. Let me ask you this then, Eric. Stars in Uncharted in 2022. Obviously, Sony's play at kicking off that franchise. We've yet to see an Uncharted 2, even though there's been talks. I don't think it's confirmed yet. Does that dent his franchise lead ability at all to you?
So, not really. I get that it was a non-starter. Mm-hmm. And to our conversation, if somebody is outside of their very specific genre, are they able to open things? But that's a 50-50 split with Mark Wahlberg, who is a certifiable flop. So I feel like Mark Wahlberg drug Tom down a little bit. But we did get that really great screen grab of Tom's bulge. So I think we all won at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's a win for me. I feel like it's a win in this category.
Mm-hmm. That is what ultimately Sony wants to pay. $120 million to make a movie so we can have a screen grab of Tom Holland's bulge. That's really
absolutely. And we haven't even talked about Cherry, which goes even deeper.
I mean, to be fair, Uncharted made $400 million.
So there you go. It wasn't like it's a hit.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a hit. It wasn't a flop. It wasn't a flop.
You were trying to, yeah.
Hey, I saw Uncharted in theaters. I remember. I was there.
Of course you did.
Directed by the same guy. Oh wait, no, he exec produced. Wait, he directed Now You See Me, Now You Don't? Fucking banger. That's crazy. Okay, we digress.
Terrible franchise, by the way.
What? You think Now You See Me is a bad franchise?
And when I draft Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah. What then, Eric? What then?
Best of luck to you, Daniel.
What if Danny drafts Jesse Eisenberg and Up and Coming? That's what I want to see happen right there. The best is yet to come. Eric, you have another pick.
I do. Okay. I feel like a couple of my categories are thin. Not like Mariah Carey thin, but they're pretty thin. So I'm getting a little nervous. Oh, now I got to take Tom off. right up here too. Okay.
A little nervous already. We're only in the second round.
Am I?
Oh, wow. Okay, Cam. Let's relax a little bit, you know?
Okay.
We got to be honest on this show.
Yeah.
We have integrity here, okay?
Honesty is the last thing we should be on this show.
Whatever you say.
All right. Okay. Oh, this is gonna. I think you guys are gonna try and ding me if I do this. Okay.
You're doing a lot of flip flopping. You're making me nervous.
I don't
for
know.
you.
I don't know.
And he really
Well,
wanted
you
to-
guys
Well,
said
let's-
something earlier that threw me a little bit.
Oh,
So I
what was
think
that?
I think I might.
Danny, how are you feeling about your pick? We got a couple to come back to you.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm gonna help you, Eric. I'm gonna help you stall a
stalling
little.
now.
I know. I'm gonna help you vamp for a minute here. Danny, are you locked in, or are you channeling Eric vibes here?
I have no clue what I'm doing on my next pick.
Wow. Okay. So it is collusion, and you guys are stalling for each
I'm
other.
locking in. I'm locking in.
Ridiculous.
I'm locking in.
Let's hear it.
I'm doing up and coming,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go with an actor that through IP and non-IP in 2025 had a pretty good year with 3 films that hit the top, and that's Mason Thames.
Oh,
Wow. It's a huge pick. Is that how you say it? Thames?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Mason
it's
Thames.
not. He's not English. It's not the Thames. It's Thames.
Okay. So he
I
was
think
in How to Train Your Dragon, Black Phone
Yep.
2, and Regretting You in
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah.
Currently slated for How to Train Your Dragon 2, of course, in
Mhm, of course.
2027. And then I didn't know this. Oh, okay. I was thinking of a different movie. He's slated to be in a movie called The Shitheads, which I've
The
never heard of.
Shatheeds.
The Shitheads.
It's
How
a Key
dare
and
you?
Peele joke, Ethan. Come on.
Kieran Shipka, Dave Franco, Mason Thames. Okay.
Yeah.
directed by the director of Green Room, Blue Ruin.
Dude, Green Room. Wow.
Green Room. That's a movie.
Now that's a movie. Okay. Speak on
Yeah.
your pick a little bit here.
I mean, I don't have it's not like a personal need to pick him, but when I was, like I said, when I looked at this list, I was like, who are we going to define as up and coming? And does that just mean young? And is the under 30 group and the up and coming group kind of the same group? Are they interchangeable? And I had different names in up and coming than I have in under 30. And then kind of realized that I feel like so much attention was given to him in 25 for those 3 films. And I just feel like he's at the right place. He blew up pretty quickly, so you don't really know.
Mhm.
We don't know what the next couple of years are going to look like for him, especially in a world of very fleeting alliances. So,
Mhm.
but I feel very good about that pick for who he is right now.
I think it's a good pick. He's not really a my kind of a guy, albeit I haven't seen any of the movies he starred
I
in 2025.
don't know what that means.
I just don't. I like. I
Speak
don't
on
see,
it, Ethan. What
I don't-
is your kind of guy? What does that mean?
I don't vibe with him. I've never seen him act.
Isn't. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much what I mean. I've never really seen a movie of his.
You didn't see How to Train Your Dragon?
No, didn't.
The Black Phone, Black Phone 2.
I did see the Black Phone. I didn't see the Black Phone 2. Huh. Yeah. Maybe just not my kind of guy. Who's to say?
I don't. You apparently.
Okay.
Not a fan of
Um,
17-year-old up and coming actors, apparently.
Yeah, I'm more of an old
I
Hollywood
mean,
guy.
you know. That's fair.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in trouble with the law, so
This is true. Okay. I'm going to stick in up and coming. as well. Now that one of them is off the board.
Horrible phrasing, Ethan, for what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I just I'm a wordsmith. That's what I do. So I'm going to stick in this category, and I'm actually going to differentiate a little bit from what you just did. And I'm going to kind of take what you threw out there as like, what is up and coming? What do we describe as up and coming? Is that a young actor? Is that someone who like has a great future slate? Is that someone we think will have a great future slate? I had 2 names on this short list that I was really attached to, and I'd be really happy with either one. I'm going to go in one direction here, and I'm going to take someone that is not up and coming in pop culture, but that is up and coming in movies. Had technically 3 movies come out in 2025 as well. Has a huge slate for 2026. 3 movies slated as well. And a couple of things in pre-production that are pretty phenomenal. So in up and coming, I'm going to go with Charlie XCX as an up and coming actor. And she starred in Jarabek in 2025, which I thought was quite phenomenal. I'm a very big fan. Of course, I am a big Charlie XCX fan, like in general. I think Brad is really good. I like her pop culture vibe. I like everything about that. She was in Sacrifice as like a small little cameo as Mother Nature. Both movies that Danny and I saw at TIFF. She was in 100 Nights a Hero this year. She is going to be in The Moment for A24 coming up at the end of this month, in just a couple of weeks by the time this pod comes out. She's going to be in Greg Araki's new movie, I Want Your Sex. She's going to be in a new movie called The Gallerist in 2026. She's also slated to star in Dakota Johnson's first movie, directorial debut, I believe. So we got a great looking up and coming slate for Charlie XCX. And I'm like genuinely excited for everything she has coming up. I think she's going to be a big name in the acting space.
I see what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing.
What's that? I don't even know what I'm doing.
You are catering to the gay vote for Instagram and Twitter. I know exactly what you're doing, Ethan.
I like hot people. I'm not going to deny it.
If I had my old Twitter account and didn't have to restart it, I would put the fire of gay Twitter on you.
Good or bad? That sounds bad.
No, not in a good way. Not in a good way.
Wow. Nope. I thought these were 2 pretty stellar picks.
I'm not saying it's a bad pick.
Danny, you saw Jarabek with me at TIFF. You saw Sacrifice, I believe. You were much less thrilled on Sacrifice than me in general. But Charlie, pretty good in it in the 60 seconds she was in.
I mean, she's in it for about 60 seconds. You got that correct, yeah.
What do you think?
Jarabek, she was genuinely phenomenal in that movie. Really, I can't wait for more people to find that performance, me included. 1-2 special. If you want to just drop that in my inbox,
give a screener.
Would happily revisit. She gives a monologue in Jarabek that is really tremendous. Gave me kind of chills from someone who came out of a different industry and crossed over into acting. So in terms of where she's at right now, I totally get this pick from you. I also agree with Erik.
What does that mean? What do you mean? You agree with Erik?
You're gay baiting.
Hey, I draft to win.
It's gonna be the hashtag I use when I retweet this tag.
She is going to be in I Want Your Sex with Olivia Wilde and Cooper Hoffman and Chase Suey Wonders, which I think is going to be a movie to look out for in 2026.
I can't wait for that. Obviously, a new Greg Araki is something that, as a homosexual, I am looking forward to.
Okay, Sean Penn.
This is such an interesting pick because she falls under the category of major celebrity and also up and coming in this specific space. So he played this well, I have to say. He got a lot of value out of this category.
I think she would have been better as a wild card, but I like it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Totally
I haven't seen it. I didn't go to TIP, so I didn't see the 35 movies that she had there. But I loved her playing herself on Overcompensating. That was fucking hilarious.
Mm,
She was
yeah,
great. Did you
I
see
think
that, Ethan? Overcompensating?
I did not see Overcompensating.
Yeah, it's about a gay person. So
You know what? I'm just gonna make my picks and I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna go forward. We proceed. Okay. So yeah, I feel really proud of that one. Danny, we're on to you for 2 picks in a row here.
Oh shit, you're right.
Did you forget?
Yeah.
you're the Eiffel Tower this time, Danny.
Yeah.
I
Make
know.
it count.
There's
Tough.
so many So this is interesting. You've both picked Up and Coming, which technically you would think does free me up to just leave that one
Mhm.
because there's no one that can be selected in that category. But at the same time, someone I want could be drafted in the under 30. So it's still under threat in a way. It's an interesting scheme we've got going here.
Mhm.
There's just so many directions I want to go, and I don't know what is the most useful to approach first. So I've already done box office opener, which in hindsight, I kind of wish I didn't do because nobody else went with like the biggest of big buzzy names in that category. I was expecting a couple of names to fly off that board early.
Oh, really?
And that didn't. Yeah, I was especially you. There's
I
one
still
name
have
that I
my
thought you were
pick,
just gonna
so.
draft straight away.
Me too.
No,
And me too.
One name for me.
No.
Oh.
No.
You guys are doing all this.
Absolutely not.
You're doing all this vamping, and you're like, oh, I'm not so prepared. It gives me a lot of thinking time. You know, it lets me really lock in. Feels good.
I kind of know the name I want in a few of these categories, but the order and whose name is still going to be available when it comes around back to me is kind of what I'm debating at the current moment.
Okay.
No one's broached the over 50. We haven't talked about that at all yet.
My people.
I think. Sorry. That was so out of pocket. I feel pretty good about that category. I got a lot of people on that list. Erik being one of them.
It's deep.
It's a it's a deep pocket.
I said, I think it's interesting that that's a deep category, obviously, because, you know, it kind of reiterates what we're talking about here of like up and coming movie stars versus like aging movie stars and the things that work still.
And how we define it.
Yeah, totally.
It's a lot to think about.
As you Google another movie star or what?
As I type in someone else's IMDb. Yeah.
You probably just Googled like most famous movie star under 30. You're like, who's the number one?
Okay. I feel like based on who I took in the first round and given that this name is still available, it kind of makes too much sense not to take her. So
okay.
I'm going to go with under 30 Zendaya.
Yep. There she. Yep. Let me knock her out of here. Yep.
Same. Off my short list.
I mean, talk about a pop culture icon with the Challengers press tour last year, obviously becoming a bigger part of the Dune franchise and will continue to do so into the rest of this year. The marketing ploy that we've already started to see seep into last year into this year with the initial ad for the drama. Yep. I'm really curious about what that's going to develop into. Obviously, Euphoria is coming back in 2026. We're going to get another season of that. Obviously, one of her breakout roles that burst her onto the scene, as well as franchise Spider-Man Brand New Day, as well as big blockbuster The Odyssey. So you kind of hit all the bases with what Zendaya has moving forward. The indie drama, the pop culture TV series, the blockbuster, the franchise. it's all kind of there for her. And so at under 30, I feel like this is too good of a pick to pass up.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, Zendaya is 29, so she is eligible for this category. Very savvy. I do have a question for you regarding this pick, because I don't disagree with anything that you said. She's got the drama, Euphoria, The Odyssey, Spider-Man: Brand New Day, Dune Part 3, all slated to come out in 2026. She's also voicing a character in Shrek 5 in 2027. So it's like she's breaking into that quadrant, right? And like covering that ground as a movie star. She, albeit is 29, and I think there's a larger conversation to be had around this, but I'm just curious, your guys' perspective. Do you think her fame, her movie stardom, has to result in an Academy Award nomination in the next few years to validate a movie star? I'm not sure any of these projects have that energy.
It's your pick.
It's a good question. She has been, I will say, a large sort of icon of pop culture and movie stardom in a way that hasn't translated to the traditional path of award success. And I do think there is something to say about, we've touched on this idea of the evolving idea of the movie star, right? And can someone be a movie star outside of the sort of traditional foundational system of the Academy Award? Can you still have that sort of iconicity as a performer without stepping onto that Dolby stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is a really curious case study. I don't doubt that she will find that project eventually. I mean, the fact that she's cast in The Odyssey, an Indy A24 movie, a blockbuster, all of these different things in this next year, I don't doubt that that's coming. But I do think it is an interesting thought experiment to say, maybe she doesn't have to follow that traditional path, because Timothee and the way that he markets his movies and his persona and brand, I wouldn't argue is comparable to any other movie star of past eras. And although that has translated to award success for him, I think that's part of his brand too, is I want to be the greatest, right? So his path and his unique brand still does identify with the ecosystem of awards, but Zendaya's, she's found a lot of success outside of that. So I don't necessarily think that defines her, but I also don't doubt that she'll find that eventually.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's what I think about that. I think it's very clear by the choices that she's made that she's certainly not angling for a prestige project that's going to get her to that Dolby stage. She's a 2-time Emmy winner. She is the only Black woman to win lead actress in a drama series twice, and did it before she was 25. So there is not a lot that she really needs to prove in that regard. Even with challengers, I don't think anybody went into it with aspirations for Oscar success. It just ended up being a fucking perfect movie.
Yep.
So I think if she were to pivot to that, she probably could pretty easily. But like Danny said, her stardom and her fame is so broad and widespread. Like I cannot wait for this year, because we are going to get so many red carpets with her from Law Roach. I don't even care what the movie is. I just cannot wait to see her, because she always absolutely kills it. So she's really in those multiple.
She's deeply invested in the fashion sphere as
quadrants.
much as she is.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
that's a totally interesting way to approach it.
She is a star.
Huge star. I really wish I had made this my second pick, because I kind of did want to put Tom Holland and Zendaya both in my draft together.
I was going to make a note. We've got a power couple on the board. Yeah.
I wish I had.
Out of the
Um,
18 names on the movie star draft, 2 so far are in
Together.
relationship.
Mhm.
yeah, it might even be no, it's not a better pick than Chalamet, but it's a
It's
yeah.
a very good pick.
You're killing it already. I already anticipate losing, so congrats.
She she is a really great case study as child actor turned famous person as well. Like
Sure.
turned
And there's
complete
a
pop
lot
culture
of
icon.
bad case studies.
A lot
So
of bad case studies. Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue the real kind of flip side of the coin was her alternate partner, Bella Thorne, that she did a lot of those TV movies with, and she took a different path, and Zendaya is here, and we're drafting her on this draft, right? So I do think to that question, I really do agree with both of you, as especially with Danny. I think like it'll come. I think there's something to be said for the fact that like she's a puzzle piece in a very big cast of the Odyssey. She's also a very important franchise puzzle piece in Spider-Man and Dune. She's also able to co-lead a dramatic two-hander with Robert Pattinson, who is arguably a very big movie star. Not sure if he'll get drafted or not, but there's something to be said for that as well with A24, which has the brand recognition that it does. So there's a lot of like checking the boxes going on with Zendaya as well. You have a second pick though.
I do, and you teed me up perfectly, Ethan. So thank you so much for doing this.
How did I know?
My franchise lead selection, and this is multifaceted because he has led a franchise and he is in the midst of evolving one currently. Robert Pattinson, formerly known as Edward Cullen.
Oh yeah, currently known as Bruce Wayne.
Currently known as Bruce
I
Wayne.
mean, that's a big deal.
And also Robert Pattinson.
And Robert Pattinson. Speak on it. Huge pick.
Yeah, this was the category I was honestly had the least shortlisted options to go with. I wasn't entirely sure based on my question what direction to even go with this, but I think the fact that his career catapulted through a major pop cultural sensation in a franchise like Twilight. He's found its way through the indie circuit, through some blockbusters that he's gone into the realm of with things like Tenet, Mickey 17, finding his way back to a major franchise that is in the midst of reinventing itself with the Batman and taking on the helm of Bruce Wayne, a really kind of one of one type of role that you take on in your career. I think that's a pretty unique trajectory. And so that is what appealed to me in selecting him, other than the fact that I just think he's an extraordinarily talented actor and I love his little voices.
I think everybody really loves his little voices. You know, that's one of the key ingredients for Robert Pattinson.
Key ingredient.
Yeah, I think he has a really interesting slate of like how he got to where he is. He was obviously in Twilight, and that's very big and very notable. You know, the star of Good Time. Speaking of Marty Supreme and talking about movies about degenerates, I think that's important. I think the coolest he's ever looked on screen. He was with Timothee Chalamet, and he's looked cooler in a movie.
Yeah.
What movie is that?
I would posit that The Lighthouse is the coolest he's looked.
I think that's
for reasons.
Fair. For reasons, sure, fair.
Yeah.
You know, he did The Lighthouse. Right after that, he does The King for Netflix with Timothee Chalamet, an up and coming star. You mentioned Tenet. He does The Devil All the Time with Tom Holland, someone who has been selected here already. He was a voice in The Boy and the Heron. The Mickey 17 and Die My Love box office and cultural standpoint, I think is a conversation, and I think it's interesting to say the least. But, you know, we just talked about this. He's in the drama, he's in the Odyssey, he's in Dune Part 3, and then he's in the Batman 2, a movie that we just got news of a couple of days ago at time of recording. Like, here's who's going to be in this movie. And it's a big fucking movie. Like, it's a very, very big deal. So, yeah, I think a really important movie star right now.
I obviously love this pick. And what Danny is doing during this draft is proving what an absolute phony I am, and that Danny knows how to play this game because I don't know shit. But on the Pattinson front, this is a conversation that we haven't really had yet in this conversation about what defines a movie star, because people like Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart have never been able to really translate outside of, I don't mean the Batman because it's an existing IP. They've never been able to take their fervent fan base with them to their smaller films or even like a mid-size film. So that, to what I was talking about
Yeah.
earlier with
Yeah.
like 90s stars, what I do think is really kind of cool about him is that he does not give a shit.
Yeah.
And she doesn't either, really, for that matter. And their lack of maybe continued box office success is not scaring them, or him, just focusing on him,
Yeah.
from making choices that are nothing but exactly what he wants to do. And
I
thankfully,
completely agree with this. I
thankfully
think that this
continuing to
is
work because of it.
Yeah.
it's
Good take.
a perfect case study of where the stardom of him in, the Batman or something of that nature is not translating, is not, you can't pluck his name, put it on Die My Love and make that movie successful, right? That's
Yeah.
the perfect example of what we're talking about, that doesn't work anymore. But you're so right. And this is what I actually love about today's version of the movie star, is that there are certain people who are still willing to lend their name to a story that they find worthwhile. And that does help independent productions, indie directors get a movie off the ground. There's no doubt about that. And so I think that is essential right now. I think movie stars should be doing that, because it is so hard to get an independent production financed and brought to distribution in any form. So someone like Robert
Mhm.
Pattinson being willing to do that, I think, is incredibly, incredibly important for the culture of movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a really fascinating change with like a movie star of the 90s where the projects kind of came to them and they just had their name. And now we look at someone like Robert Pattinson, who probably inherently feels a lot of burden for progressing the state of cinema and the state of movies
Mhm.
and the dire state that we are in right now by making movies like Die My Love and smaller indie productions.
Yep.
And says exactly what you said, Eric, where it's like, if I don't do this, nobody will, and these movies will cease to exist. And that's very important that they continue to do that and lend their star power and their movie fame to that. I believe he's also in an upcoming movie called Primetime, which is a biopic about Chris Hansen, if I remember correctly. And then I just wanted to give
Yeah.
a quick shout out. 2 thoughts real fast with Robert Pattinson. He was in a movie in 2014 for A24 called The Rover. It's not an exceptional movie by any means, but if you haven't seen it and if you're looking like for more Robert Pattinson things to see, I think it's very unique and individualized, and I think it's worth a watch. He co-stars with Guy Pearce. And then, Eric, you said at the top, a name where if they got to kind of come back to a franchise much later, they could lead a franchise. I just want to posit Robert Pattinson for the Cedric Diggory franchise spinoff. When are we going to get that? And I think that's important IP we should discover. That's all.
I didn't know we were allowed to talk about that franchise on this podcast, Ethan. I thought it was banned.
I talked
previously.
about very specifically a character whom got their start in that franchise. I didn't mention the franchise. Just want to be known.
Is she going to write it too?
I want Robert Pattinson to write,
He
direct,
probably
and
wants-
star.
he probably
That's what I
wants
want. I probably want that.
Oh my god.
Tenet 2. When? Come on, our Pats. Let's hear it. Right. So we got Robert Pattinson off the board in franchise lead.
God, what a pick.
Yeah, really good pick. It makes me believe I should go franchise lead. Now, this pick isn't as strong, in my opinion, as Robert Pattinson, but I'm going to take a different approach. Someone has been technically in a franchise. I don't think it's a franchise that people necessarily use as a case study, but it exists. I'm more so thinking about this from a future standpoint. Could lead a franchise, has the star power, has the screen presence, possibly will be an Academy Award nominated actor here in just a few months. So in franchise
son
lead,
of a fucking bitch.
I'm going to be taking Jacob Elordi.
You motherfucker.
Let's go.
That was my
love
next
to see
pick.
it. You love to see me succeed.
I
In what
debated
category?
him.
I'm taking him in franchise lead because I
Okay,
believe
that's mental.
I
That
believe
is mental.
he could be a very good franchise lead. Now, I did mention he already led a franchise, and that would be the Kissing Booth for Netflix.
No.
You're not going to let me do this?
Danny.
I think I'll let him
Let's
do it,
talk
but I
about
think
this.
voters should give him consequences for that decision.
That is
wait, let me hear the
terrible
pushback.
category
Okay.
to put him in.
Why do you say?
There is.
You don't think that
It's
if Jacob
not only
Elordi got cast in a
untrustworthy.
3-movie franchise starting in 2027, that he could lead that into 2031?
I think it's a
He
little
could.
bit mental to put someone who's arguably up and coming and is non-arguably under 30.
There
in a
is a
different
clear
category.
category for him to be in, and it's not this.
Okay. That would be under 30 because he's 28, I believe.
No, not that either.
Oh, up and coming?
No.
What?
Well,
What?
maybe.
What? I only have under 30, over 50 franchise lead and wild card available. So I can't put him in other things. I'm making my case.
It's your,
Are you-
it is. You are.
Do you think
Okay.
he belongs
Show.
in box office opener right now?
I think where I was going to put him was wild card for all of the things that you just mentioned, which also
Like an
includes
amalgamation
Euphoria.
of all of these things. Okay.
Yeah, and he has
Okay.
Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
will be a really interesting test.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
And
Yeah.
obviously Frankenstein, if it was like a real theatrical release, would have made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so your idea is that franchise lead is a little deceptive, and you don't think it
Yes.
really applies.
I don't.
I think that's okay. Or would you guys allow me to switch? I will take him in wild card if that's what you would prefer.
No, I'm just throwing it out there just to
Okay.
dismantle you.
Now this is kind of a two-pronged
I'll
attack.
give Ethan I'll give him the credit that we did leave it open to like, could this
Yeah.
person lead a franchise? But like to rely on your categorization on a pure hypothetical statement when there are
I didn't.
categories
He led a
built
franchise.
for this exact.
He led the Kissing Booth. Those movies are some of the most watched Netflix movies of all time.
Okay,
Jacob
this
Elordi,
changes my
the
opinion.
center of it.
Yes,
changes my
and I was
opinion.
going to also invoke the Kissing Booth. I think
Thank
really
you.
I'm just more angry that you picked him, so I just
Right. You're
Hate
looking for an
you.
angle in, right? Yeah.
like so much. Told you I'm really bad at this.
I take it back. I think the Kissing Booth does change the argument because
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
fine.
I do think if you're gonna frame
you
someone as a
son of a bitch.
hypothetical future franchise lead, they've got to have like something in their filmography that suggests that.
Sure.
Beyond
Totally
just
agree.
a series of independent films. And he at least did take part and lead a trilogy. So
He did. Yeah. So he's got the Kissing Booth for Netflix spanning 2018 to 2021. Now, I've never seen any of those movies, but I've heard they're very popular. His filmography after that obviously includes Euphoria that goes in. It starts in 2019. He does Deepwater, a movie that I was deeply disappointed by, but I think he's great and very good looking in that movie. He then does Saltburn, and yes, Eric, did you want to say something? People should tune into the video version of this pod. It's really great content.
Yeah, I hope they do.
so
you just keep
he
invoking
does-
good-looking men.
He does Saltburn.
I wonder.
He's teaming up with Emerald Fennell again with Wuthering Heights, so kind of revisiting that partnership, which again I agree. I think will be a really good case study for him. He does Priscilla in 2023 against Kaylee Spaney for A24, playing Elvis, like very important big things. Then he does Oh Canada with Paul Schrader, a movie that I don't think really works, but he's trying things. On Swift Horses, a surefire. If you need to fall asleep, put this movie on. But
There's the homophobia. I was
a
waiting.
lot of
There
hot
it is.
people.
Waiting
But a
for
lot
it.
of hot people. That's where I was going.
Nope, I wasn't. I'm not going to let you
Then-
backpedal.
Then he leads Frankenstein, of course, could potentially get a supporting actor nom for this. He's got Wuthering Heights coming up, which we've mentioned. He's got The Dog Stars with Ridley Scott, which will be an interesting test as well. And he's back in Euphoria for 8 episodes as Nate. So I do think that like he is kind of at this crux, and where like in the next 12 months, if it was like Jacob Elordi is leading X franchise, I just see it. Like, I just don't think there's a lot to scoff at there. Okay.
Once again, I'll
happy?
say, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I agree with Erik.
Okay. Well, I've made my case and I stand by it. A lot of articles of evidence for what I've stated here. Erik, you have 2 nominations.
I am going like fucking lockjaw right now. I am so fucking angry. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Tough.
You son of a bitch. All right. Oh, Christ on a cracker.
Yeah. I do think Danny and I kind of did you in a little bit here.
Oh no, it's I talk a big game, and here we are, an absolute flop.
I mean, he wanted the first overall pick.
I did.
It's true.
I did. Oh,
but you have 2 picks here. You got
you could double up. You can turn it around real fast.
Turn it. I've seen people turn it around in the last couple of picks of a draft, and all of a sudden they come out on top.
I'm gonna turn around, but anyway. Wait, I have 2.
Yeah, you're at the turn. You got picks 3 and 4 for your turn here.
Okay, let's see how poorly I can do this, because I think I can do a pretty bad job. I have box office opener. I have under 30. I have over 50, and I have wild card. Well, I had wild card, so I could have some fun.
Can I make a suggestion for you, real fast?
Sure, Ethan.
If you're looking to go a little south, like you said, if you just want to kind of like knock off your team here, you could draft The Rock in box office opener. I think that's solid.
Right. Yeah. See,
a lot of potential.
Now, I mean, this is the part of the game that you are not good at. So,
I thought it was a funny joke.
I will put The Rock in my back pocket.
Yeah.
You
can.
I hear Carla Sofia Gascon is still on the table.
Shut up! I was actually going to invoke her. Where is Amelia Perez too?
I mean, that'll
dead.
Her getting cast would certainly turn heads.
Let's put her in the Avengers.
Startling pick. Will return in Doomsday. Yeah.
Will return.
Exactly. All right. On that note. On that note. I will do box office opener. And as much as I don't want to or don't really care about these movies, I think the return of Robert Downey Jr. probably deserves some mention here, as much as I can't say I am a fan. Yeah. I think and also too, as much as Avengers has become a just massive ensemble where you could pretty much put anybody's name as a representative, the way that he has been chosen as really the focal point because of his return and playing a different character in whatever version or multiverse that this exists where that can happen, it kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I was wondering when the MCU was going to be broached.
Yeah.
And I mean, the MCU was broached. Tom Holland. You've got 2 MCU megastars on your team.
True. But I don't think of him as like MCU proper in terms of like highest grossing associated with, Endgame and the biggest of the big there's some other names that I would put above that, Robert Downey Jr. included. But yes, that being said, obviously Tom Holland's is part of that.
To the point of the entirety of the conversation that we've had, he started the beginning of this entire multi-franchise to exist. Did it as also a huge comeback for his career. So obviously, if you know anything about him, his life and his career is quite storied. So when Iron Man happened, 2008 or whatever it was, nobody really cared. Superhero movies were not like a thing.
Yeah, they barely existed at that point.
No, not at all. And when you look at
like as a franchise
at the box office beginnings of that compared to where we got to with the last few Avengers, it's a world of difference, but he is truly the center point really of all of it.
He really is. Whatever you want to say, whatever we want to say about like the current slate of MCU and where things are going and you know, the kind of Hollywood dependence and the box office dependence on these franchises and whatnot is a different conversation, but it is undeniable that Robert Downey Jr. is a box office draw. He is a box office opener. He puts asses in seats and people want to see him. So regardless of how anybody feels about the Avengers Doomsday teasers, people are going to show up to see Robert Downey Jr. play Dr. Doom. Like it's just going to happen, right? There's just nothing you can do about that. And obviously, like you mentioned, does start the MCU as Iron Man, as Tony Stark, and fundamentally changes IP and Hollywood and box office forever. You know, I'm pretty on the record as like really enjoying some of his late stuff right before the MCU. I think he's like, you know, obviously very good in Zodiac, and I think like that version of RDJ is a little different.
Before I am a huge fan of.
Yeah,
huge.
I think he's very good as Iron Man. Like I'm also on the record as like I'm a huge Infinity War guy. I will see Endgame again when they put it back in theaters next year. Like that is what I grew up with, and it doesn't work without Robert Downey Jr. at all. So I think to pick him in box office is super smart. I do think it's interesting though. He makes Doolittle in 2020, which is a pretty massive flop. The RDJ of things aside, you could say, you know, that's a gimme. He obviously wins an Academy Award for Oppenheimer. It's kind of a big deal. And this is the moment where the culture is kind of like, wow, he's doing these things. This is amazing. He then goes on to do The Sympathizer, a series that I don't think was really talked about a whole lot, but is like pretty important in decisions that he made. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm just going to go make more money and do the Avengers, which is like, fuck yeah, man. Good for you. Like you can. You're the only person on the planet that could ever do this.
Yeah, there is a lot of times we'll have conversations about people that sort of exist as a one of one. Mm-hmm. And in this universe, he is a one of one.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Where you at on Iron Man, Danny? You big Iron Man guy?
No.
Okay. I think we should get Danny to watch Iron Man 3, and that's the watch along we should do with him. See what happens. Wow. Yeah.
Also vaguely homophobic, just to suggest it. Yeah.
Just trying to evoke some Christmas spirit, you know, the Shane Black of everything, but okay, what do I know? You have another pick though, Erik.
I do. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna have to sit on wild card for a while because I honestly don't know what to do with that category really right now. So that puts me at either under 30 or over 50, which is fantastic. Love that.
It was going to be originally over 60, and then I started looking at the slate, and I was like, we got to bulk it up a little bit. So we went under 50.
You should have gone for the extremes.
Over 75?
I was going to say, yeah.
Where's over 80.
Over 90. Over
yeah,
80.
because then we'd all be
Robert
locking
De Niro,
in June
Harrison
Squibb.
Ford, June Squibb. There you go, yeah.
Come on.
3.
Easy pick.
All of them on my long list.
Shout out to the listener who knew this episode was coming and was like, how high will June Squibb be drafted? Look at us talking about June Squibb.
I'm not even lying.
How'd you know?
That I have that. Yeah, not even lying.
Drafter as franchise lead. I want 1 million Thelmas.
Thank you.
Thelma
Exactly.
Universe.
Exactly.
I need a Thelmaverse.
I'm just gonna be thinking about that like after this podcast now.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to look at under 30 over 50, and All right. I'm gonna do. Oh boy, I'm gonna do under 30.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 names here.
So do I.
One that has a box office success, a
Okay.
television success.
Oh no.
I have one that has a television success and not exactly box office success, but streaming success. And then I have one that had a box office success in 2025 and potentially another this year. So I'm really kind of torn about which of these 3 that I want to pick, because they're all a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. The person that I want could fall into any of those, so I'm gonna be pretty mad if you still who I
But
want.
I'm also, I'm thinking again, because I'm really bad at this. I'm not thinking about the voters, honestly, of like what they're going to kind of lean to, because what I think the voters might pick would probably be my last choice of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I've stated on here, you also need to do right by you.
I always do right by me.
Draft what's in your heart.
I make choices that are my heart and not my head.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
And that's important because then you feel good about it.
I always do feel good. I always feel fine.
I'm here to win. I don't give a shit if I feel good at night.
I know.
Win.
Yes. Yes.
Blatantly obvious.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh, this feels terrible.
I really didn't think it would be this hard for you, Eric. I thought you'd be stomping the ground with us.
Because what am I? Do I want to cater?
No.
I don't really care about these.
You got to do what Bill Simmons says. The heart wants what the heart wants. Go Bill Simmons style.
Well,
you know,
this isn't. I mean, this is not an example of a heart pick because, but okay, all right. Let's just do this. Oh no, that's not the right
This
pick.
is phenomenal stuff. I'm loving every second of it. I've never seen someone
I know
other
whatever
than
I pick
me
is
under so much pressure.
It's gonna be a flop. It's a disaster. So it shouldn't really matter.
It's like you're so close and then you pull back.
But actually, maybe I can put one of those into wild card instead. I think I'll do that.
Okay.
This is gonna feel crazier than maybe I think that it's going to. All right. The person I'm picking for under 30, huge television streaming star, huge film franchise streaming star, as well as a solo film that was a extremely bad film, but a huge streaming hit. And I think that is valid for this category and what they might do in the future. Although what they've done in the past might be too big for them to be able to really be a star. But we'll see. And I'm picking Millie Bonnie Bon Jovi.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Now I can follow.
And I actually love this pick now.
The math just matched so instantly.
Yeah, it all came together so fast. Okay.
Obviously, Stranger Things, which just ended,
Yeah.
and you can regard how it ended as good or bad, but you'll never be able to debate that it was a massive hit.
Yeah.
The Electric State, one of the worst movies that's ever been made. $320 million of absolute garbage. Huge streaming hit.
Yeah.
Her Enola Holmes series, huge franchise for Netflix. She is, when you think about it, very much like the old studio system star, because all of these are Netflix. She is a Netflix studio star. And looking at the other choices that I had, it did become clear that I felt like she defines what we've been talking about, but in a different way, and certainly in a younger, possible, even up and coming way.
Yeah. I think having a streaming category would have been interesting, because I think you kind of broke that open, because frankly, she didn't cross my mind at all. Albeit I'm very removed from Stranger Things. That's not for me, and I haven't followed it whatsoever. But you are completely on par. Her and David Fincher, without them, Netflix doesn't exist. So that's worth something. That's kind of a big deal when it comes to making movies. And I think your analogy is like super correct. And like, she's what an old studio star was, where it's like you just sign a contract with Warner Brothers and you make 7 movies for them. That's just what she does for Netflix. She is currently on the slate for Enola Holmes 3.
Yep.
Franchise that people seem to love. And she's got like 4 other Netflix movies in production right now as well. So that's pretty a wise pick.
You know, in this 20 seconds of hindsight, it feels actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly hadn't pictured it that way, of like almost a studio in-house person, because that's how stars worked in the past, right? Like, and that was the big battle between the big 5 studios, was having these stars on their roster. And Netflix being the biggest streamer, about to acquire a lot of assets in the long-term future, having Millie Bobby Brown at the center of that on their roster. Hey, that's
a star.
Nothing. That's a star.
Yeah. I mean, she was also in the Godzilla franchise, let it be known. I don't think she was very good in it, but she was in it.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So that's important.
Yeah.
Her last 3 movies were Enola Holmes 2, Damsel, a movie that exists for Netflix, and The Electric State.
Yeah. I didn't say they were good.
They're not good, but that's movie star.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow, wasn't even on my roster. Pretty bold play. I'm gonna stick in that category, I think. And I'm gonna make what is possibly well, let's think about this. I think this person will still be on the board. So I'm actually gonna skip. I'm gonna zag. In over 50.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna crack the seal on this one. I think there's a lot. Ooh. Danny, have you picked under 30 yet? You have.
Yes, I picked Zendaya.
Yeah. What do you have left though? You have over 50, wild card, and
up and coming.
Oh shoot. Up and coming. Huh. See, I view under 30 category as someone that's already certified. A certified movie star already.
That's the mental separation I was trying to do, of like under 30 versus up and coming feels like, you know, the differentiation is like you aren't a movie star yet versus you have somehow established yourself at a young age.
Yeah. I'm really duped on this pick. Well, Danny, I don't think you're gonna pick it, so I'm gonna leave it. And if you end up picking it, shame on me for leaving it for you. So
can we put a pin on that and come back to it? Because I'm really curious now.
Yeah, if it's still on the board, I'm picking it next time. So we'll probably get back to it. In over 50, I'm going to follow my heart. The heart wants what the heart wants. One of my favorite movies of 2025, who I fundamentally believe is one of the very few movie stars that can open a movie based on their name, based on their face, based on what they are on the silver screen.
Yep.
I'm going to be going with Brad Pitt in this category. Opens F1, a movie from Apple that exists on streaming right now. Huge success, massive theatrical box office, and I think is ultimately one of the very few like remaining true blue movie stars that we have. I was up in the air about a couple of people that also had movies come out in 2025, but they weren't as heavy on the success, whether that be cultural or box office. And I think this is someone, obviously in Brad Pitt, who's been making a lot of movies for a very long time and can just open movies. He's got, let's see, as an actor, 5 movies coming up. Obviously, he's going to be in The Adventures of Cliff Booth for Netflix. That's a big deal. That's a movie star. He was, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well. He's going to be re-upping the Oceans franchise in Oceans 14. And he's got a couple of other things on here as well. That's my guy. Had to have him.
Yeah. It's stellar pick on my list. So
nice.
It's hard to argue with, for sure.
Yeah.
And he has an excellent PR team that has allowed him to overcome and overcome and still remain relevant.
Not Danny shining a light that Ethan has picked an abuser for his team. Wow.
I would look, movie stars don't have the brightest histories, okay? Whether you're Brad Pitt or not. So the fact that F1 fucking rules and Brad Pitt is at the center of it, that's a big deal. Made $631 million worldwide. The movie's made by fucking Apple. Like, that's crazy. He's going to be in an Edward Berger movie this year. That's crazy. That's amazing.
It's an original movie that is like the most unoriginal because it taps so deeply into an IP quotation marks because it has such an existing fan base. But I mean, again, it's hard to argue with the fact that his name, it just means movies. Like, you hear the name, you think big movies, and that's the way it is.
I wonder if we'll talk about another person that I was considering when it comes to going to the movies. If not, we'll circle back. But I think the box office success of Brad Pitt is pretty impeachable. So yeah, that's who I want on my team in over 50. Erik, we're back to you. You have 2 picks and you got to finish out your team. So you do have to pick a wild card, no matter how much trouble it's giving you.
Yes, I'm gonna hold off on the wild card and do the over 50. And
I think you went. Wait, did you go the right way?
Wait, no, it's not me.
You're
it's
right.
Danny.
Sorry, it's not you, Danny. We're going to you.
You're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Oh, just trying to change the rules on the fly.
Yeah, talk about someone who is so strict to the rules of the draft.
Well,
That's why I have my great friends here to keep me on par.
It is kind of funny with the snake with 3 people. It does get a little confusing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely agree.
Okay. Let's see. I should have just let it go to have more time to think.
Come back to you, get 4 picks in a row.
It would have been really confusing. We would have got back to me and I'd be the only person who hasn't finished my draft.
Glad we avoided
that would have been funny. Okay. All right. I've got a couple ideas. I want to pose a question though, because I have a thought that came to me in the last few minutes. Up and coming. What do we think? Because I think we've associated this with age primarily.
Yeah.
What about someone older that is
June
finding
Squibb,
success?
it's your time.
It's your time to shine.
But
I think that's fair.
Is finding success, but also, they started their career later in life. And
yeah. I mean, Charlie XCX is 33 years
no
old.
notes. Absolutely.
She's not 18. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I think approved.
I have a name and I'm willing to go a different direction if you think it doesn't apply. So I will leave that to you. But
Let's hear
I
it.
am going to go with Tremel Tillman for Up and Coming.
I think it's totally
40
valid.
40 years old, didn't work until 2015. So was never an actor until age 30. And has now hit his stride, has won an Emmy, and is being cast in major movies like Mission Impossible.
Yes.
The best part of that movie.
Okay. Let's
I
relax.
agree completely.
It's not even close.
It's not even
Let's
close.
relax. Mission Impossible:
Not
Final
even
Reckoning is a
close.
masterpiece. Don't even start with me. I wanted to talk about Tom Cruise, and if we would get there eventually. We'll come back to it at the end. But I think this is a totally valid play here. I have no qualms.
I do too, because I was thinking the exact same thing. Not, I mean, obviously I picked a young person as an up and comer, but I think all the time about people who begin an acting career in their 30s or even later. And
Mhm.
how can you not qualify for that here?
Yeah. I mean, I had the thought and I went to his IMDb and his first role was in 2015. He's 40 years old. So he started at 30. And I'd say Severance really is the biggest thing on his filmography. So, I mean, just the last few years where that has broken him into the mainstream in a major way. And now he has 6 things on his upcoming slate, which is half of his entire filmography to date.
Exactly. And I think there's a great place where up and coming and breakthrough meet. And he's the sort of the Venn diagram of that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Upcoming slate. It's going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's going to be a very big Marvel movie this year. He's going to be in a Christmas Carol. I don't know if that's a movie or a TV show or what that might be, but he's in it. He's in a Lena Dunham movie called
It's
Good Sex.
the Ty West
I
Christmas
can't
Carol.
wait for that.
Wow.
Not
I
the Ty
know-
West.
did I not
the
know
Lena
that was
Dunham
happening?
I can't wait for.
The Lena
Fuck
Dunham.
Ty
Okay.
West.
Yeah. And then he's in a couple of other projects that are like really, really fascinating, have really interesting casts. So I think Up and Coming is like 1,000,000% the right call for him. I really appreciate you thinking outside the box, Danny.
Yeah, this was not planned. This was a late stage revelation, but I kind of like the idea because I think you can be up and coming at any age.
Wow. So look at you, age inclusive.
I
Age
love it.
inclusive.
I want to
Yes.
be you when I grow up, Danny. That's so cool.
And a gay person. We have a gay person in the draft. There we
There
go.
you go. We got him.
Ethan would
Four
never.
quadrant.
Oh my god.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool. Okay, you do have another pick.
I love that pick so much.
I do have another pick. Okay, I think I'll hold off on wildcard. I kind of want to see what people do with that. I'm just really curious. So I'm going to go over 50.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've already alluded to really deep well. Could go in a ton of different directions. I know he's already been mentioned. I did consider Harrison Ford because only one person is Blade Runner, Indiana Jones. And Han Solo. So that's still on my radar. But I feel compelled. Oh God, I'm really between him and one other name. Because I think there is one person who, in my head, is just like kind of like the god of movies. And it's Denzel Washington.
Oh.
I feel like he's sort of like the Rushmore of movie stars in my head. And so I'm gonna go with Denzel Washington. Obviously, in the later stages of his career, and I do think that's part of the reason I want to go with him over Harrison Ford is I think he just has a little bit more going on moving forward than Harrison Ford. Also, this idea of Denzel Washington using his name to create things that he wants to see in the world, committing himself to all of the theatrical adaptations that he wants to see brought to the big screen. working with really kind of unique and creative people. Obviously, working with Spike Lee earlier this year with Highest to Lowest. He's been in franchise. He's been in everything. He's been in franchises, the Equalizer franchise, done a lot of indie kind of theatrical work, theater-based work, things like Fences. He's a 2-time Oscar winner. I think his name just equates like big movie star. So I'm going to go with that for my over 50 pick.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, he's 71 years old right now. You mentioned he won 2 Oscars, notably the best part of Gladiator 2. So that's very important.
Rude.
I'm
right here, Ethan. Wow.
He has the Equalizer 4 coming up. He's going to be in Black Panther 3 whenever that comes out. Those are big movies. People love the Equalizer series. So, yeah. And, I think he's interesting because he really did make it through the COVID era. He came out with The Little Things, a movie that went straight to Hulu right at the very beginning of COVID. Co-starred with Jared Leto, a pretty bad movie and a terrible co-star, but he was like, a movie star. He was in it. The Tragedy of Macbeth for Apple and A24. Magnificent film. Across Francis McDormand, like you mentioned, Danny, doing things that he wants to see done. And then, he comes out and he's making all these franchise movies and he's 71 years old. So pretty important. I have a hot Denzel take. But Eric, do you have any Denzel thoughts?
I love him, and he's one of the most interesting, intimidating people that I've ever come in contact with, because he is so relentlessly no bullshit, and that kind of hates press, but like in a way that's really, really funny, because press will ask stupid questions and he suffers no fools. If you ask something even slightly stupid, he will dismiss you or just outright kind of mock you. And I love it. It's incredible. He's really something else. But yeah, he is definitely another person on our list that has been able to be a one of one. And that is a singular star, a franchise star, an Oscar winner. And certainly, obviously, as a Black actor, puts him in a very small group of being that, again, a one of one. So he doesn't really have a peer in that regard. But I really love how broad his spectrum is. I kind of wish, that he would have done a few more like Mississippi Masala and let himself be romantic and comedic. He definitely kind of like locked into drama and action pretty hardcore when he was amazing in the beginning of his career, willing to do comedies and romances. I really liked him in the 80s as that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his slate starting in 1990, it goes Mo Better Blues, Mississippi Masala, Malcolm X, Philadelphia, Crimson Tide, Devil in a Blue Dress, Courage Under Fire. Like he's just banging them out. Just left
where are the jokes?
Give us more jokes.
Give me a comedy, because he is funny as hell. He could do The Naked Gun.
This is great. Do you think Denzel could lead
100%.
a buddy cop, and who would his co-star be?
Yes, absolutely, he could.
Him and Liam Neeson? You want Naked Gun 2 with Denzel and Liam Neeson?
That would be a, oh my God. That would be like a dry off, because you would never be able to clock them with their jokes. No, I really do think Denzel Washington's entire persona could be a Naked Gun satire level incredible.
Yeah, I'm
Just
not opposed.
throw that out there.
Not opposed. Denzel, if you're listening, make a comedy. Sign up for
Somebody
a comedy.
make it.
One of my favorite Denzel movies, and admittedly, I'm like pretty shallow on his filmography, so it's not really a Denzel thing. It's more of a me thing. It's kind of a personal lore. One of my favorite movies, for no reason in particular, because it's not a good movie, is the 2009 remake of The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, where he plays a character named Walter Garber amidst John Travolta. Incredible stuff. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
That sure.
I'll
throw out Much Ado About Nothing, which is the closest he gets to going back to that potential comedic route. And then obviously, we would see him do in Tragedy of Macbeth and Othello on Broadway. He is a master of language.
Okay, so I've got my pick, and we're going to do what I alluded to. We're going to go.
Why isn't it me?
It's back to me. I'm in the middle.
I feel like I haven't made a pick in 100 years.
Hey,
I don't know.
You're gonna get
right.
2 picks. You're gonna be the first person to finish your team. You've got power. You've got hands. So
yeah, I don't think so, because I think you're gonna fuck me over with whatever you're gonna pick now.
I don't think so. I think if anything, I'm maybe doing a disservice to myself because I think it'll be a little controversial, but I think I can make a pretty good argument for this person. So
okay, then maybe I'm safe.
In under 30, I'm going to be drafting someone who had a massive box office hit in 2025. True breakout. Nobody thought would make the amount of money that it did. Has been greenlit for a sequel. Has been nominated for 2 Primetime Emmys. Has been in a myriad of films, varying in success and streaming and box office and genre, all at the center of them. She's done a lot of different things. And I'm going to go back to the Euphoria well. And I'm going to be drafting Sydney Sweeney in under 30.
You son of a fucking bitch.
Was this your next pick?
She was my wild card. After Jacob Elordi.
I'm so locked in on you, Erik.
Holy
you don't know me.
Shit.
Look at this.
See, you're looking at my the reflection in my lenses, and you're just
I see your notes.
Computer enhance.
Exactly. It's like the net. I'm just enhancing. I mean, her 2023 through 2025, she does Anyone But You with Glenn Powell, a big rom-com kind of moment in time. She does Madam Web, which, think what you will about Madam Web. She's in that movie. She does Immaculate. She's like the singular lead of a horror movie, a small indie horror movie. She does Eden, a movie that took 18 years to find a buyer out of TIFF, but it is, alas, on Netflix. Echo Valley for Apple alongside Julianne Moore, a movie that is like perfectly middling, but she's in it. Christie, which I didn't see, so I can't speak on the movie, but it dominated a lot of conversation. It made a lot of headlines, and Sydney Sweeney was the focal point of all of that. And then the big box office hit that I alluded to, she does The Housemaid this year, which has made over $120 million worldwide, greenlit for a sequel. She's the only one confirmed to be returning. It's a big deal. And people show out for Sydney Sweeney, regardless of anything else, whether good or bad media. Like she has people that will go watch movies with her in them. So I think she is a certified under 30 movie star.
Yeah. Good pick, Ethan. Good.
And she's got good genes.
Yeah, it also really shouldn't be a surprise that it's Ethan that picks 2 problematic people on his draft.
Ethan, you want to round your team out with
back to back, baby.
Honestly,
back-to-back.
where's Johnny Depp? Where's Carlos Sofia?
I'm actually going Army Hammer for Up and Coming next. That's the plan.
Yes.
Make the comeback, baby.
Let's go.
No, his brother in The Social Network.
You were going to draft Sydney Sweeney,
got his chance.
Erik.
I was going to draft Sydney Sweeney
her
in wildcard for obviously the exact same reasons.
Yeah, I think it's undeniable. I think it's interesting that
Christie, really legit.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I think Christie, the rollout of it and the media around it and everything was a pretty big farce, but I think it's notable that we have drafted Zendaya and Jacob Elordi and Sydney Sweeney, the 3 big leads of Euphoria.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for season 3. I think they've really mucked it up and they've waited too long, etc. And the Sam Levinson of everything. And that's a whole big problem. But that show made movie stars. It's undeniable.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Hunter Schafer was on my up and coming short list.
She's on one of my short lists too. Maybe we're coming
Maud
around.
Apatow directs a movie that's coming out next year that I think is actually really good.
Pretty good. Yeah. Poetic License. We saw it at TIFF. Pretty good. Eric, you've got 2 picks. You can be the first person to finish your team.
I'm closing it out, and this is actually now going to be super easy for me because I only have 1 wild card left, and they were also my alternate for under 30. And for a lot of the same reasons. So like I had mentioned, huge TV streaming star, 1 box office success that while it was a sequel, I feel like her presence in it was a really, really big draw. And the wild card I'm going with is Jenna Ortega.
Ooh. Okay.
I
can respect that.
I hated the Beetlejuice sequel. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
But I don't think, and obviously Tim Burton at the same was thinking that she had the exact right persona for the movie because it was so Wednesday adjacent. So that might feel like it's really limiting to what she can do or is able to do. I actually am one of the few people that liked that little unicorn movie.
Me too.
Oh,
Eric.
I liked it a
Eric.
lot. I
liked it too.
I
liked it too.
I thought I liked it.
I haven't found anyone else that likes it.
Yeah, I did. I think she was one of the best parts of it too. I also think Téa Leoni is fucking hilarious in it. But and obviously anything Will Poulter does, I'm going to be a part of, and almost could put him in here somewhere.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, no, I feel pretty good about it. She was my runner up for the under 30 because she did occupy so much of the same space as Millie Bonnie Bon Jovi, but not as much. So I like the idea of Jenna Ortega here. Does anyone else have a wild card or under 30 or up and coming left?
I just have my wild card.
Okay, then I won't mention my
I have my wild card.
My third yet until we are wrapped up. Okay.
Can I say something about Jenna Ortega real fast?
Of course, yes.
I think, important. She is in the Scream franchise. She's in the X trilogy, the back to Ty West and the A24 of everything. Important notes there. Regardless, like Beetlejuice was a big box office success. It was a big cultural success. I think it's quite poor. I think Death of a Unicorn is like really bad, but that's okay that you guys like it. I respect what my friends think. Hurry Up Tomorrow, like one of the worst movies of 2025. I think
that doesn't exist, so we're just going to move on.
I think she's like actually not bad in that movie. I think obviously everything The Weeknd has done where he's like, my life should be a movie is fucking atrocious. And I would know because I listen to The Weeknd every fucking day and I have to defend his music because it's all over my Spotify Wrapped. Wednesday is a big deal. She is going to be in The Gallerist with Charlie XCX, someone that I drafted.
Natalie Portman. Forget Natalie Portman.
She is going to be in a J.J. Abrams movie coming up alongside Samuel L. Jackson and Glenn Powell. And then she's also going to be in a Taika Waititi movie alongside Amy Adams and Natasha Lyonne. So there's a lot going on there that is like, I can be in movies and I can bring people to movies and I am a movie star.
Yeah, I think she's breaking out of her Wednesday.
Yeah, breaking out of her Wednesday. She was in the Sabrina Carpenter music video Taste. Like that. That's pop culturally relevant. Video. Very good music video. And I think that she, just for me, like I like the idea of her more than I like the projects that she picks. So I'm hoping that things go up a little bit for her.
Sure.
And it's a good pick though.
Yeah, I like it.
Now you have your
Pretty
wild
good
card
about
pick.
it. No, I'm over 50.
Oh, right. Yes, you're over 50. That was
And
your
then
wild card.
and then I get to close out. And I'm really glad because this is actually a list that I had a very long list for. And as we kept like ticking down on it, I started to get a little worried that I was not going to get this person. I'm really happy that I am closing it out with this category and this person. Somebody I have been a fan of. We are close to the same age. So I've been a fan as long as they have been acting. This is we talked about Brad Pitt opening a movie.
Mhm.
We talked about Timothee Chalamet and who he is as a star. I think, and especially in talking about Chalamet, because he has a direct lineage
Oh, dang it.
to this person,
God, don't.
which he even acknowledged himself on Sunday.
Damn it.
when
This
he
was my
won.
wild card pick. Come on, Eric.
He is a former lead of 2 Best Picture winners. He is going to be 3 in a couple of months. One of the, I think, inarguably biggest stars that we have had in 35 years. Has no less than 8 huge projects coming,
Massive.
including that one with Brad Pitt. So Leonardo DiCaprio is my over 50 without question and hesitation.
This is what I thought
the right
was
pick.
in
Yeah.
contention for round 1, pick 1.
Ah. Interesting.
Like I find it shocking that none of us went
what
this
does that
direction
say?
until the last round.
What does that say about the idea of the movie star that we will have inevitably Chalamet and DiCaprio competing for a Best Actor Academy Award in 3 months? They are the 1 and 2s, more like 1A, 1B. And Timmy was the first pick of the first round. DiCaprio going in a wild card in the last round. Does that say anything? Should we read into that at all?
Wild card, I can't. I mean,
going in over 50.
I would love to hear the justification for having DiCaprio in a wild card pick, but that's wild.
Still, going in the last round is still,
but I mean, look at there's a name that we haven't really directly mentioned in all of this that has not been chosen, which I thought maybe would have been very, very early. And then kind of realized that maybe they are not that person. So I'm really glad that I picked DiCaprio here. I mean, just for that reason alone. But it is odd to me that this other person hasn't been named, because they have been even literally attached as a savior of box office. But where are they? And speaking of problematic people that Ethan loves, why aren't they on his list?
Yeah.
Just because you like movies over your own family doesn't make you a bad person.
But yes, let's talk actually more about DiCaprio.
Yeah, let's talk about DiCaprio. So,
who is problematic on his own.
Yeah,
Jeff Bezos' best friend.
Tough. Almost didn't make it to CCA. Just caught a mad stray.
Didn't
really impressive
make it
work.
to Palm Springs. I was in Palm Springs, and then his little video pops up saying that he was stuck on the East Coast, which was a lie. And we already knew at the time where he was and that it was a lie, which was pretty problematic. But he kind of escapes really kind of most of that.
So because he talks so little. He
Yep.
is so selective
that's what I
about his
wanna talk about.
projects.
Yeah.
He's so selective about his projects. He's so even more selective about which projects he even does press for.
Yep.
He's like this sort of elusive movie star where you know his name, you know the things he's done, but him as a figure, as a public figure, especially at this stage of his life, is a little bit mysterious in a
Yep.
way and not entirely up to spec, as has already been noted at times. But he is truly a one of one for a variety of reasons.
That's what
Again,
makes
there's
that's
that
what makes him so
phrase.
interesting to me, though. That's what makes him the direct antithesis of what Chalamet is doing right now. Chalamet is on social media every day, all the time. DiCaprio is mysterious, and I do wonder if part of like a movie star aura that people long for now is that version of mystery. Is that version of like, they're better than us. They are a movie star. They're inaccessible. We don't know what's going on in their daily lives. We don't know what they're thinking. We don't know their persona. And DiCaprio is like the complete embodiment of that. Obviously, we don't really need to like run through his filmography. He is Scorsese's guy, and he has been for quite a while. And, there's a lot of conversation of how like Scorsese basically was like, let's take you from Titanic and make you a real movie star and put you in Gangs of New York, and like, let's make you in things. You look at the last like handful of movies he does, he wins an Oscar for The Revenant. He does Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He does Don't Look Up, which I'm a defender. I think is quite a good movie, and I think his performance is really good in that movie.
Bad movie. He's great.
Okay. Does Killers of the Flower Moon? Massive success. I mean, one of the greatest. One Battle After Another. The defining movie of 2025. The defining movie potentially of the 2020s. He is attached, like you said, Eric, to some unbelievable projects.
Insane.
As he's going forward.
Insane.
A couple of these are Scorsese directed movies he's alluded to on podcasts and media and things. And he is, like you said, Danny, very selective about what he says he is doing, because he's the kind of guy where he's like, if I say I'm doing it, it's happening. That's real. Like, I'm not going to just attach my name to anything. Very important to me. He is attached as Chris Shahurlis in Heat 2. It's fucking humongous. That's unbelievable. So like, that's a fucking movie star. You know what I mean? And that to me is pretty crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have used the phrase one of one a few times now.
Yeah.
And I think that is the entire purpose of this draft is finding and defining who is really a one of one. And there are just a handful of people that are and have been, because the ones that we're talking about have a long career. Even before Gilbert Grape, I was a fan. His TV work, even I love Growing Pains. Even I love him. He should have won for Gilbert Grape, though. Definitely should have won.
Really good. Okay. I was going to pick DiCaprio as my wild card. I was really hoping I could snag that and like ultimately seal my team.
Crazy, please justify that.
But okay, so I think we're looking
for
at
everything
wild card,
that we've just talked about.
I think we're looking at wild card differently. I'm looking at wild card as just a movie star, like literally anything. Doesn't matter. I think you're looking at it as like a lot of facets of what a movie star is. So to me, the wild card is just an extra category where you could pick an up and coming, you could pick an over 50 and under 30, like whatever. Doesn't matter.
It's like a free for all.
It's like a free for all. So I'm going to stay with that idea. And I'm not going to regret this.
I have two names. So whichever,
Let's hear it.
Even if you take one,
you have
I still
another
have
ready.
the other. Yeah, I have two ready, but I'm
Okay.
really curious if you take one of the two that I'm going with.
I'm pretty in between choosing an over 50 and dipping back into like what I would consider an up and coming, which I think, to like Eric's point, is more of like a wild card, quote unquote, and could like really qualify for what that wild card is. But I find it pretty undeniable to follow in the lineage of DiCaprio and movie stardom. And I think there is something to be said to the fact that like my brain just automatically jumps like back to this pool of like over 50 movie stars that are aging, but they have defined what a movie star is. They might not be able to open movies like they used to, but they're making movies. And a lot of these people are making really interesting choices still. And I think that's important. So I'm going to do what you alluded to, Eric. I'm going to go with the king of movies himself. I am going to be picking Tom Cruise in Wild Card. I think he is a movie star. I think it's just undeniable. And I think we could sit here and talk about Tom Cruise and the movies that he's made. He's been making movies for 40 years and you know how he started out, and we talk about it all the time on this pod. He is a big key movie component for me, at least, and I'm on every episode, so therein the draft supports my ideas. He was, working with PTA Young and doing really interesting things with Spielberg, and he plays a villain with Michael Mann, like really collecting the auteurs like Infinity Gauntlets, commits himself to the Mission Impossible franchise, ultimately, in my opinion, makes the greatest action franchise that's ever been. The Final Reckoning did not do box office numbers. It's not as good as people wanted it to be. I have a very soft spot for it. I have a very big soft spot for Mission Impossible and Tom Cruise in general. I think him going on to do Digger this year with Inarritu is interesting. And I think him deciding at 63 to be like, I'm done with this franchise and now maybe like let's revisit some of my weirder characters or do freaky things. That's the Tom Cruise we've all been longing for like 15 years. And I think that's wonderful. And I think that is like movie stardom, to be able to go through the cycle and say like, I'm doing weird shit and now I'm doing a franchise for 20 years and then I'm going to do more weird shit. And he's been nominated for 4 Academy Awards. He technically has one. It just is an honorary off-screen one. So tough beat for a movie star.
That was not televised and nobody saw it. And
I said off-screen. You don't need to rub it in, okay? Just let it live. Let it lie.
It's not a win, but yeah. Would not count it toward EGOT, but sure.
It's true. I just think it's undeniable. Like he's Mr. Movies himself, The power of Top Gun Maverick cannot be understated. I think even 5 years after it happened.
That's why it taking this long for him to get on the list is so shocking to me. Mm-hmm. It's shocking.
Yeah.
I feel confident that he'd drop. I didn't think either one of you wanted him. So I felt pretty good about getting him late.
Oh, it was between him and DiCaprio for my over 50 category,
interesting.
For sure. But
I do think DiCaprio
really
is like
coalesced around DiCaprio. It was just the better choice.
I think DiCaprio is the 1, and I think Cruise is the 2.
I think so too. And I think it's fascinating that Cruise, I mean, in his 90s heyday, definitely one of those people that could open
a movie.
any kind of movie. He really, really wanted an Oscar. He really, really wanted it. And when it really just was clearly not going to happen, he stopped trying.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people chase, an Oscar for a while and hope that they can get it. I think DiCaprio did a little bit of that with The Revenant, a little bit. Yeah. And maybe Cruise sees Inarritu as the path to possibly that happening. I don't know what the movie's going to be like. It might be just too weird or eccentric or whatever. The tiny little millisecond that we saw is a little funky.
Yep.
And I can't wait. I'm cool. I'm very in the pocket for Inarritu. But I am very interested in a post Mission Impossible life for Tom Cruise, of his choices and what he's going to do, because basically that's been his life, really. Thankfully, his Mummy reboot was such a disaster that it just kind of stopped. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, his entire life really became Mission Impossible.
It did.
And it was enough to finally get a stunt category coming to the Oscars. It'll just be too late.
Yeah, they did him so dirty on that.
Impossible
so
there.
That's crazy.
But he is a core reason why it's going to happen.
Yep.
Without question. So
I hope that they I honestly do hope they do something with him when that becomes a thing. Like he presents the
Yeah,
first one, or
That would be
it's
great.
his
that'd be
contribution
huge.
is acknowledged. Because obviously what he did for action in general and stunt design, and including all of the stunt workers and crew that developed that. I mean, that's pretty clear. How do you can trace the trajectory of that
Yeah.
into this now being
Yeah.
ingrained in Academy Award history in a couple of years?
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I think it's notable too. Like he tries a lot of things. He does make a Jack Reacher franchise. He tries to make The Mummy. He tries to do spin-off things like Valkyrie and like Oblivion, and like he tries things. And I think that's important to what a movie star can do, and using that movie stardom to, again, put your name on a movie, I think is important. So
Yeah, but the one thing that I will ding him for is that he is, unlike some of the other people that we've mentioned, he has only gone really for some
yeah,
pretty big titles, franchises, and stuff like that. He is not doing riskier type of work and
yeah,
choices. And honestly, even at the time, Magnolia definitely was that,
yeah,
because it was playing so close to parts of his real life and
persona, his
personal life.
real life identity. Yeah,
And that happening the same year as Eyes Wide Shut, which also did. Those two choices, he will never, I don't think, make choices like that again.
yeah,
And it's too bad, because those are two of the best pieces of work that he has ever done. And I have conversations like this about actors, with people that are not, clued into an actor's personal life. And for the majority of people, if they go to something, they want to go to something because they want to see that person in a movie, or they want to see that movie. And I think, obviously, as a cinephile as we all are, we definitely also attach other things
yeah,
to a performance or a choice to be in a movie or whatever it might be. So thinking about, Eyes Wide Shut and Magnolia both being that same year, and what those represented in his actual life at exactly that moment,
yeah.
absolutely informs how I feel about his performance and about those movies. And I can't split those two things apart.
Totally.
Um, and I just feel like he's kind of unwilling to reopen that part of himself.
Yeah. I think you're totally right. I think he is a little bit unwilling to reopen that part of his life. We'll see what Digger does for him. I think you're exactly right. I think he sees Inarritu as a path towards getting closer to a little golden statue. Like, Inarritu has proven he's won, and he's won back to back. And so, like, he won DiCaprio an award, right? So, like,
Exactly.
he sees the potential there. I think in 2027, we got to get Cruise to make Tame the Cock, the Frank T.J. Mackey story. That's what
Oh
we
my
need.
God.
That's the spinoff the world needs. Back to basics.
I don't know about that much.
Danny, you have one final pick to end the movie star draft.
One final pick. Okay, so I'll admit I thought round one was going to go Timmy, Tom, and Leo,
And Leo.
Me too.
Fascinating.
and that did not happen. So I obviously I do think something to say about the construction of, like, we're focusing on under 30s and thinking about up and coming, like, definitely kind of sidewinded us and sent us
Yeah.
on different paths, and it makes sense that we would ultimately come back to those big names. So I was between two. I totally get the Tom Cruise thing. I think it makes a whole lot of sense to have him on your board. You are correct. You know me well. I was not going to draft him just because
Yeah.
not a huge Tom Cruise fan, but for the purpose of the draft, pretty undeniable. So I'm still between two actresses that I've been weighing and debating throughout this conversation. One of which I think has had a less illustrious career, but has a bigger cultural iconicity, has lended herself to one of the biggest cultural phenomenons in the past couple of years as the face of that movie, and has a very big cultural phenomenon coming in a couple of months. The other name I think fits the wild card brand a little bit better to me, has won 2 Oscars, and you kind of never know what she's going to do next. And I find that really appealing with the wild card, but maybe is not as big and buzzy of a name as the former. So that's kind of where I'm stuck right now.
Okay. Can you just say the 2 names? Because I don't know who they are.
Nobody else is going to draft.
Nobody's going to take them.
I'm between Margot Robbie and Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Emma Stone was very high on my lists. Is Margot Robbie a movie star though? I know we're bridging on 2.5 hours into the pod, and I understand that you guys are on East Coast time, so I'm really starting to mess with your heads. But like, that's a huge.
I'm
that's true.
California.
We're all in. Yeah, that's fair. Danny, I don't give a shit. You can stay up till 1 a.m. Courtney can sleep later. Margot Robbie a movie star has been a question for like 5 years. And it is always a question when she is attached to a project. Can she open a movie? No. Like, it's pretty much the overwhelming answer, Barbie aside, right? Yeah. Like, Wuthering Heights, I think we talked about how it's going to be a huge test for Elordi. Wuthering Heights is a massive test for Margot Robbie. Okay, like, is she just going to have bomb after bomb after bomb, and people are just going to be like, she's a movie star? I'm in her corner. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No real track record of box office success outside of Barbie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be clear. Babylon is a cultural staple, so there's that.
Listen, as a Babylon Hive member, I'm not going to argue with you there.
We're strong, brother. Stay strong.
Stay strong, because I have a flamethrower for that hive.
It's okay. It's a full hive anyway, Eric. Don't worry about it.
It very much is.
I think her name is more. I think her name is more compelling on a draft graphic, because it's for sure. Margot Robbie.
For sure.
And that's what's so bizarre about her career, because she doesn't have a demonstrated track record of being
she's an
employing any of these
star.
Qualities of movie star, and yet we still think of her as a movie star.
Is it because she's just beautiful and white?
That's absolutely probably part of it.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, 100%. I do think I'm going to go with Emma Stone, because I think she really embraces this wild card
crazy zag
category. I think that she is such a fun actress, because she is willing to do a small role in a movie like Eddington. She's willing to shave her head for Begonia. These are all post winning her second Oscar. She's willing to work with Nathan Fielder on The Curse.
Love to see The Curse Hive rise. God.
Do 1/3 of an anthology with Yorgos Lanthimos in Kinds of Kindness. Like, all of these things are so diabolically fun to me. And I do think in the last 10 to 15 years, she's kind of undeniable as one of the stalwarts of Hollywood and big mainstream movies. Obviously winning 2 Oscars in that time frame, La La Land, the success that had. So I am going to go with Emma Stone.
Yeah.
My only hesitation is she does not have a confirmed upcoming project, but
I was going to call that out. I was going to play a little devil's advocate with you. She's got nothing on the slate right now. She's got a whole lot of nothing. But I mean, to what you said, she's got Poor Things, where she won the Academy Award for Poor Things. Can you remind me? Yes. She does The Curse. She does Kinds of Kindness. She does Eddington. She goes back to Yorgos and makes Begonia. Like, she's making incredibly inspired decisions. And I think she is, like, arguably really, really good in everything. I think that it's interesting outside of that, because, like, isn't Cruella 2 getting made? She is Cruella. And that's like a live action Disney IP, right? So, movie stardom. She's done voices in The Croods. She's done La La Land, like you mentioned, she's done musicals. Like La La Land, one of my favorite movies ever. Like, without Emma Stone in that role, that movie just like doesn't work. So I think she's a real quadrant movie star. She's kind of doing it all, contrary to what we just talked about with Margot Robbie. Interesting.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
You'll love to see it. Tough beat in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not ideal. Have you seen it, Danny? Have you seen those movies?
No.
No, you haven't.
Are you like the Sophia of rolling tape, where just all of that whole
100%,
franchise
yeah.
is just an absolute mystery?
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Let it be known, I will say, because this episode comes out the week after the episode that just aired, actually yesterday, as we were recording the 2026 movie auction draft. Sophia doing incredible work with superhero movies in that draft. Really just picking them up like Infinity Stones.
I'm just gonna call out that Ryan and I have been coaching her for the last
draft
couple
coaching
of months. Not draft coaching, but MCU coaching a little bit. Just being able to identify certain things instead of it being a complete mystery.
Well, she's putting it to work. So your coaching is paying off. Big dividends.
I am very happy to hear that.
We don't know the winner yet because the poll hasn't even gone up. But
okay,
maybe she'll win.
I'm gonna vote for Sophia anyway.
Who's to say? Yeah. Okay. So you chose Emma Stone in Wild Card. The Margot Robbie thing is really interesting too, and I think you made the right movie star choice. But I think like Margot Robbie will continue to be like this Hollywood enigma of like, is she actually as famous as we think that she is? She is attached to an Ocean's 11 film with Ryan Gosling, I believe. Yep. She's also attached to a reboot of Pirates of the Caribbean, I believe. So like, she's got some big things rumored and like coming up. Are they going to work? I don't know.
That franchise brings up the person I was thinking about and talking about earlier as potentially like, wow, what if somebody that used to be something came back and did something they were famous for?
Do you think that would work?
Would it work? Exactly. Would it work?
That's a great question. I hadn't even thought about
because
that.
he looks like a melting candle.
No,
yeah, he looks like
work.
ass.
But
yeah,
I'm just saying. But
Margot Robbie is Harley
you would
Quinn,
draft
though.
him, so
wow, okay. Let's be clear. I would not draft. I would not draft him. No matter how much I love Sweeney Todd, that won't sway me on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Did you see your last 3 picks? You would draft him.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this draft is over anyway, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's over. It's done. We're through. We've completed the movie star draft here on the Movie Draft Podcast. Danny, let's read through our teams real fast. Any honorable mentions that we have? Again, I know we're going on here, which I think our exercise has been really beneficial. I think we've really not nailed down any identifiable answer to what a movie star is or where it's going, but I think we've had a lot of good conversation about the things that make up a movie star. Danny, do you want to read your team and who you drafted and in which category?
Sure. I drafted Timothee Chalamet in box office opener, Zendaya in under 30, Robert Pattinson in franchise lead, Tramell Tillman in up and coming, Denzel Washington for over 50, and Emma Stone for my wild card.
I drafted Michael B. Jordan as my box office opener. I drafted Charlie XCX as up and coming. In franchise lead, I took Jacob Elordi. For over 50, I took Brad Pitt. In under 30, I took Sydney Sweeney. And for wild card, I chose Mr. Movies himself, Tom Cruise. Erik, what about your team?
As box office opener, I chose Robert Downey Jr. For under 30, Millie Bonnie Bon Jovi. I just love saying that. It's ridiculous. For over 50, Leonardo DiCaprio, up and coming Mason Thames, franchise lead Tom Holland, and wild card Jenna Ortega.
Who do you guys think is going to win this draft?
Not me.
I wasn't going to say it, but look,
Danny.
I don't
Danny.
disagree. You think it's Danny?
With Chalamet and Zendaya?
Chalamet and Zendaya?
Yeah.
Tramell Tillman, you'll find a hive. Like, I think there's a lot of people that'll vote for you.
I did go for hive picks, I will say, like a lot of really big fan bases, but I do think, people think movie star, they do think Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. And
that's what I'm saying.
That's not not really going away.
Maybe.
I don't think it's going away either. Any honorable mentions of actors that we hadn't drafted. Eric, do you have anything that like you had shortlisted in some categories?
So, I mean, we've gone through basically, I think, really all of the names just in conversation.
Yeah.
That the one that I was playing with in under 30 was Millie Alcock.
Oh,
Because of
interesting.
Superman and Supergirl.
Ooh,
So
that'd be
she
fun.
was my like third in that group of three under 30 women. And maybe that would have played well with the DC crowd, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a good shout. Danny, anything that you've got on the short list?
Yeah, I was toying around with the idea of Pedro Pascal. He's
Okay.
been had a huge couple of years recently.
Yeah.
I was thinking about under 30, Anya Taylor-Joy, Florence Pugh, Paul Mescal.
Okay.
Up
Anya
and
Taylor-Joy
coming
is a good shout.
Yeah.
pre my Tremel Tillman thought, I was dead set this whole time on going with David Johnson for up and coming because
Oh.
I think he is just tremendously talented.
Yeah.
I cannot
Of
wait
Alien
to see what
Romulus
he
fame?
develops into. Yeah.
Mhm.
Long Walk earlier this year. Yeah, that's
Great choice.
for franchise lead, I considered Daniel Craig between Bond and
Huh.
Knives Out.
Oh my God.
Great
Why didn't I
shout.
even
Really
think of
interesting.
that?
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't think about that either. That's cool. Okay, some good ones. I had for over 50, I had Coleman Domingo. I had Matt Damon. Like he's leading the Odyssey, so I think that's worth something there. We talked about Clooney a lot. If he's valuable in this state of things or not. And Pedro Pascal was also on my short list. Whether I like most of his projects or not, which I usually don't. But he's going to be in a lot of MCU movies coming up. He's kind of a big deal. For franchise lead, I was going with the same idea in which I did for Jacob Elordi. This one would have been a little bit harder of a pitch because she doesn't have anything to prove that she can lead a franchise. But I was going to toss out Hunter Schafer as leading a Legend of Zelda franchise. I know she gets fan casted as Zelda a whole lot, and I thought that would have been something to like kind of throw out there.
Sort of a part of Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, going forward, I guess. That's important. Under 30, I had Paul Mescal, like you mentioned. Elle Fanning was also on my list. Under 30, she's 27 right now. And I think Predator: Badlands, quite successful, pretty big deal. Sentimental Value, like she's kind of got the dichotomy of films there. Box office opener, I put Anne Hathaway on here. Do I firmly believe that? No. But her 2026 slate says otherwise. She's in like 6 movies this year.
Yeah.
And that has to be mentioned. I find it interesting that nobody mentioned the second highest grossing actor of all time.
Samuel Jackson and Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson primarily. That has
Zoe
massive
Saldana.
franchise. Zoe Saldana just became number 1. Nobody talked about her, obviously. I mean, Scarlett Johansson she's like rebooting the Exorcist franchise basically with Mike Flanagan. She's going to be in the Batman Part 2. She is rumored to be in Tangled. She had just led Jurassic World. She's a big deal. She plays Black Widow in the MCU, like that, talking about movie star. And then the up and coming ones that I had Miles Catton. He just won Best Young Actor at CCA, and I thought that would be an important note. Odessa Azion and Chase Infinity. I think those are all names that are like kind of being thrown around right now as like big up and coming movie stars. So I could have gone for any of those. But alas, we drafted what we drafted, and we've done our draft here. Huge thank you, Danny and Eric. Thanks for joining me for the Movie Star Draft. It was great. It was a fun time. I had a blast stealing things from you, Eric. It was really, really fun for once in my life. Danny, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
You can find me hosting our daily podcast, The Rolling Tape, talking all things movies, entertainment, TV, film, industry news, and awards. You can find me personally at DTJ Cinema on Twitter and at Danny Jarabek everywhere else.
And Eric, what about you? If people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
Definitely at awardswatch.com. It is the height of awards season, so there is just a non-stop amount of news, predictions, all of my exploits in Los Angeles, which are really fun. I'm going back in 2 days for Globes weekend, Spirit Brunch, Baptist Tea Party, all of that craziness. My socials are all Awards Watch, except for my brand new Twitter after it was stolen, and I fought with Twitter and they would not give it back to me. Fuck Twitter, but here I am anyway. Like an abusive partner, I have returned.
Back.
And my new handle there is Awards Watch Erik. And I'll
Nice.
say again, as I did on my podcast, fuck you, Jessica.
Yeah, highly recommend following both of you guys on all socials. Next week we are heading to the Criterion Closet. We're gonna do a Criterion Collection movie draft with myself, Marta McFly, and a new guest, Philip Marinello. So I'm very excited to do that. Should be a pretty fun conversation about movies, the Criterion Collection, and what constitutes a movie maybe worth, lasting forever on physical media. Be sure to listen and subscribe to the Movie Draft Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also now on YouTube with video, so subscribe to us over there. New episodes will be released weekly on Tuesdays. We'll see you then.